Live from Lincoln, America, here's Jake Sorensen.
Did seem kind of meh.
Husker Online, Steve Sipple.
Surprisingly good.
And longtime college football assistant coach, Bill Bush.
I want to buy a couple ducks. I'm bringing 2 ducks to the office.
This is Early Break.
Good morning. Happy Friday. Early break. Full show ahead. Nick Sainert filling in for Jake Sorensen this morning. Bill Bush out today. Steve Sipple alongside. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning. How are you, Nick?
I'm doing swell.
Is the plane off the ground?
I would say so. We're live. We're live on the video stream. We're live on the FM dial. We didn't start too early. Didn't start too late.
I asked Jake the same thing, so don't. It wasn't a commentary on the fill-in guy.
It's okay.
Fill-in guy.
Even if it was.
It wasn't. I asked Jake the same thing.
Sip. So it's going to be you and I for the next couple of days.
How about that?
Just today and Tuesday. We're off on Monday.
Yes.
We're off on Monday. Do not be alarmed. Jake will be back on Wednesday. Jake and his wife, obviously Elizabeth, and the newborn had to take the baby on a little trip.
Yeah, they're
South Dakota.
Yeah, Rapid City. I don't think Jake will mind us saying that.
Rapid City.
I think so.
I thought they were visiting the Black Hills.
Maybe they are.
Maybe they are.
I could have sworn he told me yesterday Rapid City.
Maybe I just assumed that he was going to be in the Black Hills.
At any rate, yeah, they're off.
Yeah, they're gone.
Bill is on Bill just had something come up, and he will not be here today. And nor will he be here Tuesday. So you're right. It'll just be, we got to hold that. We got to hold it down. We can do it. There's plenty to talk about.
Well, I hope we can do it. Right. I feel like we are somewhat, full-time radio hosts, media members. There's plenty to talk about, as we know. As always, 402-464-5685, the Honda Lincoln hotline, the Starter Heyman text line open for you guys on a Friday, as well as the Starter Heyman Jewelers live video stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, as well as Allo Channel 961. If you want to watch us on your television sets here this morning, simple storms over the course of the night. Did you hear any of them?
Can I tell you something interesting? And this doesn't happen very often. Now, maybe you'll say, simple, that's not interesting at all. I thought it was fascinating. Okay, I just happened to be up at about 2 a.m.
Okay.
Just old man, doesn't sleep very well.
Mm-hmm.
And Ben, tell me if this has happened to you. I could hear the storm coming.
Is that right?
I could hear a low rumble in the distance.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of knew that we're getting storms.
Yeah.
And I was laying there and thought to myself, it's coming.
Yeah.
It's in the distance, but it'll be here pretty soon. And that's what happened. You could hear the rumble in the distance. And then in about 15 minutes, here came the wind.
Can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
Didn't hear a thing.
Nothing.
I've said this. I said this.
You slept through it?
I said this yesterday, and I said it earlier in the week with the storms earlier in the week. My issue, I sleep through it all.
Do you?
So there were tornado sirens, I suppose. I
don't know.
I looked up on Twitter today.
Oh, I didn't hear them.
And according to Twitter, in some parts of Lincoln, tornado sirens were going off.
Oh, I didn't. Not in the northeast part.
Okay, because I think in towards the western part, because I know there was rotation near like Seward, Malcolm area.
Okay.
Early this morning.
Ooh. That's the activity.
And see, I live 40th and Yankee Hill area, so way south, right? Yeah. And I did not hear a thing, didn't hear rain, didn't hear thunder, nothing.
There was thunder. It wasn't a lot. Now, breakers.
Oh, see, we have South Lincoln had sirens go off around 2 a.m. I didn't hear a thing. This is the issue that I have.
Yeah.
And I'm a little concerned living on my own.
Oh.
I don't hear anything.
Yeah, that is concerning. I'll call you next time.
I don't enjoy this.
I'll call you.
Because this is now 3 or 4 storms in a row where I've gotten either a text from my girlfriend or text from somebody else and be like, hey, did you hear the storm last night? Did the storm keep you up? What storm?
Right.
I didn't hear it.
Nick. Yeah. That's interesting. Now, here's the thing. again, so we're totally different. We're totally different situations here. If you think about it, I heard it coming. I not only did I hear it when it was upon me.
Yeah.
I heard it. I heard it coming in the distance. Fascinating. When I was laying there, I was thinking, I've never experienced this before. Maybe it was because it was so quiet at night.
Mm-hmm.
There's just so still. And the storm was kind of a rumbling train.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was fascinating to me because then bam, there it is. It's on me. I could hear stuff on my patio, a lot of disruption on my patio, a lot of stuff blowing around.
Yeah.
I had to pick it up this morning. And so there it was. And I don't know how long it lasted because I think I fell asleep, but I don't think it was a long lasting storm.
A lot of people on the text line are saying, Nick, you got to get a weather alert radio.
Yeah.
I don't know. I suppose so. I don't.
Why don't you just get an FM AM radio?
I don't know. I don't have a purpose for one outside of. This is the FM radio. I'm on the FM radio. I don't need it when I'm not here.
Well, you might have it. You might have one at home, just by
Maybe.
your bed, just in case you need to.
I don't know. I just think sometimes I have this thought every single storm of maybe I should hear these things.
Yeah, it would be sort of disconcerting if you just woke up and you're flying around the air with your shed.
I don't know if I'd wake up. I don't think I'd wake up in the tornado. I think I'd probably wake up just before the tornado. I would hope that at some point, just naturally I would wake up. Just because like it's alarming knowing, okay, do I need to take shelter?
Right. Absolutely.
Technically in tornado warnings, right? Like you should probably get shelter.
Yeah, it's nothing to make light. You're not making light of it.
Yeah,
and I did, but you shouldn't make light of it because of what's happened here this spring. And this is a spring of storms. This is
it's bad. It's been pretty constant.
The activity we've had this spring is unlike anything we've seen in recent years.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I was a boy, okay. Here we go.
When was that?
Old man talk.
When was that?
Well,
I did want to ask you.
Hold on.
Okay,
there was a time when it was a lot more. It seemed, in my opinion, again, breakers, you can weigh in. It seemed like maybe in 15, 20 plus years ago, it was more common.
Yeah.
It hasn't been very common. But this spring has been.
This spring has been unfortunate for a lot of people.
Right.
So Bird in Columbus, since Bill's not here, we can't do it. Says, screw it. Enjoy your sleep. Consider yourself lucky. There's also that piece because going back to your old man comment, and I can say it because you said it. You said you were up at 2 a.m. because of old man things.
Just old man.
Yeah, just old man syndrome.
Just up,
right? And so
it's not old man syndrome. It's not a syndrome. Let's not go with syndrome.
Let's just be honest here. Let's call it what it is. You're up at the same time every single night, probably. That's what I wanted to ask. Are you in a routine where it's like every night at 1:37 a.m. you just naturally wake up in between like 1:35 and 1:40 a.m. and it's like I got to go to the bathroom. I got to go back to bed. Are you to that stage of your life yet?
No. I mean, in fact, I was telling friends in the last 2 nights I slept incredibly well, like you. Like I slept from 10:30. It was odd. And I think the older people listening, I'm 57. The older people listening would understand this. I slept from 10:30 p.m. to 4:30 a.m., which never happes. Straight. Never. Back-to-back nights for some reason.
That's good, though.
I felt so much better than I usually do. Like Bill, me and Bill always commiserate on this topic. Bill's same age. We commiserate all the time that Bill says funny stuff, like he'll call me and say, Sipple. My fatigue went to a new level. And I totally, when he says that, I'm like, oh my God, I can just totally associate with that.
Yeah.
But those 2 nights I slept marvelously well, but not last night. It wasn't terrible, but I woke up and heard that rumble. I'm like, that's the storm that Jake Sorensen was telling me about. He goes, it's probably going to hit about 3 o'clock.
Yeah, it was bad.
2 o'clock.
Yeah.
And,
I not to be insensitive, but I slept perfect, right?
You're fine.
It was just
I'm with
another
Bird
night.
on that.
It was just another night.
Yeah. I'm with Bird on that. Count yourself lucky.
Fell asleep about 10:15 once I got back into town and woke up this morning about 4:40. We were good. We were ready to roll.
Did you have damage around? Did you have any trees down?
Trees falling? Like, no, because in the newer there's not large trees
Right.
that branches can
Yeah, you live on the part of, in an area where that's not a factor. I have two
relatively
houses.
recently developed.
Yeah, the two houses in town that I'm associated with, they both are heavily enshrouded. So there's always the tree factor. And there was a big limb down this morning that I'll have to deal with when I get home.
Yeah. So I mean, and that's the thing is, I wouldn't have known. I thought it would have just been a shower. If I walked outside, I would have thought, oh, just a normal rain shower, because that's what it felt like.
Yeah,
and I had no clue of anything that happened just 5 hours before that.
It was not a horrific storm,
which is good. Which is good. But especially if the sirens are going off, I got a text from Mike Melby, also a member of the station, where he was like, "Listen, the sirens went off at First and Superior last night.
First and Superior.
I obviously can't hear it way over
my
there.
area.
Yeah, exactly.
No, that's not. Yeah,
so did you sleep through the tornado sirens? That's the real
I
question.
didn't hear the
just
siren.
not hear them.
Right. I didn't hear sirens.
All right, so that has been Idle Chit Chat.
That's Idle Chit Chat. Weather Chit Chat.
Weather Chit Chat.
You could be in line at Super Saver.
I suppose so. Man, did you sleep through that storm? Don't ask people about how they slept last night. That's probably crossing the line. But did you hear the storm last night?
Oh, yeah. Here we go with the cross the line talk. I apparently cross it a lot.
Asking folks how they slept.
Is that crossing the line?
People? Yeah, I would say so. You're probably crossing the line.
Wait a second. Did you sleep through the storm last night?
No, it's asking somebody about what they do, just in the room and the door. Like, I just not about it. Did you hear the storm last night? And then if they were like, yeah, I slept right through it, that's perfectly acceptable.
These conversations fascinate me because they're distinct.
They're touchy. And this is why society nowadays, people don't talk to people. Is because it's easy to cross a line.
Damn it.
I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm not saying it's a good thing.
They don't talk. At Planet Fitness, where I work out,
everybody just kind of stares and looks away.
They have their earphones on.
Yep. Well, you don't want to talk to people while you're working out.
If you talk in Planet Fitness, people look at you like you're crazy.
That is right.
Except to the staff. The staff is very welcoming.
Well, they somewhat have to be. I would imagine that if the staff was working out, they would not.
Okay.
Hey, Jimmy, you're not working the front desk today. Nope, I'm lifting. And then he would go right back to putting the earbuds in and going to lift his assisted pull-up machine.
I think people still talk to each other.
I suppose so.
Not maybe as much.
Not as much. But it's also
I love these conversations.
It's also normalcy for me. Normalcy, because this is the time that I grew up.
Right.
Not saying it's a good thing.
I'm fascinated.
I think you can I guess tell the listeners a little bit more. I feel like I'm an old soul.
Yes, you are.
Like I just have an older personality.
100%.
And I wish people would talk.
Yeah, now that we're talking about this, I go to Russ's Market in Havelock, and I do notice the lack of conversation. Now that we're talking about it, it's not. You don't see it very often.
Yeah,
you see it a little bit. I think that the people in there know each other well. A lot of them are probably grew up in that neighborhood, know each other, and I think you see more women talking.
I will also say one thing that I do appreciate:
women talking to women.
Yes, I do appreciate when you're at a hotel or on the road. It's where are you from? What are you guys here doing? I was in Columbus. Oh, nice. I was in Columbus, Ohio.
Just sniffed
into the microphone. It was a piercing noise in my ears.
Yeah, that was bad. Sorry, Ben.
Anyway, I was in Columbus, Ohio a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, I stood in the elevator with this random family, and I was like, "So where are you guys from?" And they were from somewhere down south, and I was like, "That's awesome. What are you doing all the way up here in Columbus, Ohio?"
Okay.
And we had a good, nice, concise, productive 25-second conversation.
25 seconds.
It was pretty extended because then they reciprocated it.
That's extended in this world. Wow.
It is. Because then they reciprocated. What are you doing in Columbus, Ohio?
They felt they had to.
Potentially.
But they did.
But they put on the show that they were actually interested, just like I was.
We'll revisit this.
Oh, well. That is Idle Chit Chat. By the way, we talked about all this weather, all this rain. Great opportunity for you to make sure your lawn's looking good. Call the folks and Andrew at Newton's Lawn Care, 402-440-6297. You can also get 50% off your first fertilizer application this spring. No excuse to have a crappy looking yard.
Not this year.
Not this year, right? Golf courses are going to be beautiful. Right. Your yard should look the same. Call our folks at Newton's Lawn Care.
Well, I see some yards in that Havelock area that are just pristine.
Oh, man. Oh, There you go. I thought you were going the other way.
Well, oh no, I was going to pristine. Our friend of the show, Missing Tooth Greg.
Absolutely.
God, his yard. It's embarrassing how good looking it is. Like it is ridiculous. And he mows it. He won't mind me saying this. I don't think he might. I don't know. I'm not going to give out his address,
Just
so you can't go drive by. Well, he mows it in an arc.
Really?
In an arc, and it's sweet. Yeah, he's very painstaking.
Yeah.
There was a occurrence, I'm not going to get into why, but I said, I can mow your yard. I can do it. If you want me to do it. He said, oh no, I mow it a certain way.
So in the townhouse area that I live in,
yes,
the people mow it for us.
Yes.
Right. They deal with all the snow and everything.
Sure.
But here's
HOA.
Here's the deal. I can't wait for the day where I get to take care of my own yard.
Good for you.
I cannot wait. And Newton's Lawn Care will be the first call I make.
God bless you.
There it is. Shout out to Andrew.
I don't know though. We're not the same on that. I'm not big on it.
Really?
No, I've never been big on working in the yard.
I'll be excited. Like I'm looking forward to learning about okay, do I want to cut it shorter this time of year? Do I want to cut it longer?
You're looking forward to learning about that. It's really not a very long process.
Here's the thing. I'm going to be honest. Like the whole turf management side of things fascinates me.
Okay.
Never wanted to do it for a career, but it fascinates me. Like the actual science of it.
Yeah.
Like Haymarket Park, Charles Schwab Field, obviously are two of them right now. Just fascinates me on how they manage it and things that we don't even think about.
Mm-hmm.
They take into account.
I will tell you this: that much of it is common
as well.
Yeah, much of it is common sense. Common sense.
Okay. Well, Sipple, it is a Friday, and we are already at 6:18 a.m. We have to do a roll call.
Oh God,
it's 6:18 a.m.
Now, people, we'll do a quick roll call because people want some sporting talk.
They do, and we have a full 2-hour show to fill with some sporting talk.
Yeah,
not sporting Kansas City, but sport talk.
Mm-hmm.
But once again, it's time for a roll call, sponsored by our friends at Madsen's Bowling and Billiards, the ultimate Friday night hangout just south of 48th and Holdridge. So let's do it. Let's text your name, age, and where you're listening from. Anything else that you want the folks to add?
Well,
today?
Don't do that to me. Name, age, where you're listening from, and mower type. What kind of mower do you have?
Oh, perfect.
Yeah,
there you go.
What kind of mower?
Self-propelled.
And brand.
Yeah, okay.
Brand.
There it is. All right, perfect. Let's do it. Let's start with the YouTube stream because they've been sitting in there. Bolt was the first one all the way long ago at 6:03 a.m.
Bolt.
After about 1 minute of us being on the air, says checking in for roll call, gentlemen. Good morning to you, Bolt. Good morning to Doug on the YouTube stream. Good morning to Huskers 2023 on the YouTube stream. He says checking in from the Irish capital of Nebraska is Huskers 2023.
I'm going to say that's O'Neill.
Potentially.
I'm going to say Bolt I've met from Pender.
Okay.
I met him at PBA. God bless him.
Shout out to Bolt.
I'm pretty sure.
Potentially Pender.
Yeah.
Potentially not Pender. Allen 30. He says I have a Troy built mower. He's on the YouTube stream. We got Patrick in Pilger. Has a Honda mower, age 34.
If you don't know, just make it up.
Yep. Ray is in Yankton, South Dakota, age 43. And Quinn is age 34, says Troy built riding mower in Milford. All right, let's go to the text line.
The rider.
402-464-5685. Let's do this. Dylan in Crete, age 31, says Troy built ride-on mower. Travis in Ankeny, Iowa, says it's a skip day. Cam is 12 years old going to Husker baseball this afternoon.
Hello.
From Ankeny, Iowa, John Deere 0-turn mower for Travis in Ankeny.
Yeah, let's stop one second. You know what I like? I see this in my neighborhood. I like the dudes with riders with small yards.
Okay.
It makes me laugh every time. Like you're mowing on a rider. You got a little patch.
This is speaking of mowing, this is something that people might not know, and obviously wouldn't have a reason to know. Do you remember what was that called? It was in Emerald, Nebraska, the bar in Emerald, Nebraska.
Don't do this to me.
Why? What is text line will be able to help us out?
Was it a steakhouse?
It was right as you go into Merl's in Emerald, Nebraska.
No, that was a steakhouse.
So get this.
Hold on. Not just a bar.
I mowed
steakhouse.
I mowed Merle's yard.
You did?
When I was like 13, 14 years old. The owner at the time, we were good friends with him.
You're kidding me.
He would had me come every single week, gave me the riding mower, weed eat, everything.
His house or the bar, the restaurant?
House and the restaurant. The restaurant had a lot of rocks by it.
Right,
but there was a little patch in the front, right by the road, and then across the street in front of the other shed area, I would mow both of those areas, the house. And so, yeah, whenever you saw Merl's and said, man, this lawn is really well manicured, it's because a 14-year-old Nick was out there mowing the yard in between shifts at Amigos. So there you have it.
Hold on.
Little interesting piece of
Hold
that.
on. It brings up something that's not good.
We need to finish.
Hold on.
We need to finish
just
the
real
roll call.
quick.
Okay.
Real quick. It brings up one of my huge regrets. One of my biggest regrets of my life. Never ate at Merle's.
Oh,
then it closed down.
Very much of a regret. Needs to be a regret. That was the first place I ever sang karaoke.
God,
ever sang karaoke was
no
teenage Nick, probably younger than 16 years old, was in there playing pool and singing karaoke.
So
on
you
a
know
Friday
that
night.
highway, you just go right down and you're all of a sudden you're ripping down them. And I would ride my motorcycle down there sometimes just for the hell of it.
Yeah.
And turn around in the Merle's parking lot in that rock that you referred to.
Yep.
And there's a couple times I said, okay, I'm going to stop one of these times and eat here. I got to eat here. And then it closed.
Yep.
And I'm like, okay, it never happened.
It was unfortunate.
Okay.
So yeah,
Keep going.
I was out there on a riding mower at age like 14, 15, mowing Merle's for about a year. All right, let's keep going here. Swift, age 28, Lincoln from listening from a Genesis at 70th and A. Good job. Get your pump in. Joe in Bella Vista, Arkansas, age 63. He has a Honda. Fricky, age 51 in South Lincoln, says, I got a Ryder John Deere mower.
Got a lot of riders.
A lot of riders. I don't know, guys.
No, it's fine.
I don't know.
But now why are you expressing reservation?
Do all these guys have big yards?
Well,
big enough yards for it?
They've earned this. Look at it that way.
Smoke Eater says 40th and Yankee Hill, no mower. Doesn't have a mower.
You know, you see all types in my neighborhood. God bless the guy on Adams, and I'm going to say Adams and 58 yesterday, mowing with one of those it was a no motor mower. Yeah, no motor mower, just one with the revolving clippers. They do fine.
Okay.
I used to do that.
Doing just fine.
Yeah, they do fine. I wouldn't advocate mowing a big lawn with one, but if you just got a smaller lawn, those things work fine.
John from Fremont, age 61, says he's got a Toro self-propelled.
God bless.
I find out when you're talking to the male audience, they like to talk about the mowers. Mm-hmm. They like people to know what do I got?
Well,
what do I got today? Chris in Fremont, age 48, Toro self-propelled as well. Pete in Chattanooga, age 72, Honda push mower.
Nice.
Honda push for Pete in Chattanooga.
Okay, that's good.
Brett is listening in Lakeville, Minnesota, age 38, says Toro 30-inch double blade walk behind. Some serious power behind that one. Serious power behind that one. Harley Pete in Lincoln, age 63, Sears 22-inch mower.
Oh, baby. We're getting them. You're right. The dudes like this.
They like to,
what kind of mower you got out there? That's what we're doing. We're doing a roll call, and you're going to tell us your name, age, and mower type.
Wet Blanket says 48 years old, westbound I-80, 16-year-old Troy-built mower that is propelled by me.
Yeah.
How about that?
Wait a second. Hold on. Wet Blanket. What age?
Wet Blanket.
Oh, I thought you said
48.
Oh, did you say Wet Blanket?
Wet Blanket, 48.
Wet Blanket, you divulged your age.
He did.
Wet Blanket, I don't know.
He doesn't do that very often.
No, I don't know that Wet Blanket has ever divulged his age.
Looking up at his previous text, because we can do that, by the way. Wet Blanket said he was 48 back on May 17th.
Oh, so he has done it.
He's done it a couple of times. Last Friday, in fact. All right, so here we go. Couple more. Chris in Des Moines, age 27, writing law acres. Otherwise, that's embarrassing. How about that?
It's funny.
From Chris in Des Moines. Hoff is age 43 in Palmyra, Troy-built rider. We have, let's see, Headhunter, Lincoln, 60 years old, riding mower, Troy-built. How about this? Headhunter says, big swim, that grass at Merle's looked great after a couple of hours in that bar. How about that? We got Officer McLeod in Columbus, Toro push mower.
Good job.
K-State hater Anthony from Sabatha, Kansas, 39 years old. 3 push mowers.
3
have teenage boys that mow yards.
Okay.
So maybe the teenage boys are the push mowers there. All right, couple more here. Kellen and Sutherland, Cub Cadet, 54-inch zero turn. Just like that. Scott in Minnesota, age 40, says Honda gas walk behind. Let's go one more that I probably scrolled past way down here. Here we go. Nels, age 47, bear hunting base camp in Montana, Cub Cadet riding mower.
This is awesome. This worked.
There you have it. Great stuff. Great stuff from
God.
the folks on the text line. 402-464-5685. And we got to get this one. Kiffin in Columbus, age 53, is currently sitting on a John Deere greens mower.
Yes, he is. Yes,
I don't know
he
if
is.
I've ever wanted anything more than the guys to listen to us while just mowing the lawn. They got the earbuds in. It meant something.
Perfect.
It meant something if you're listening to us while mowing your yard.
I'm surprised.
We appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm surprised Jake and I, Sorensen, and Bill now have never done this one. What do you use? What are you mowing with? Because Jake loves to mow. He loves to mow. He doesn't
that
live in
catches me by surprise.
Yeah, he loves it. He loves the satisfaction of it. And I'm not. I don't share
There's
that at all.
something about having straight, even lines, man.
And I don't even care about that.
Oh yeah,
my lines are not straight. Trust me.
You go diagonal. You can go up and down, east, west.
I don't care. I just say this. Here's what I say. I got all the blades. I don't care I got all the blades.
I'm also fascinated to know how guys, mow around trees. If you got a big stump in your yard, how do you mow around it? Do you
mow
do
around
the circles?
Yeah.
Do you do the circles, or do you pick it up like it's a straight line that just goes right through the stump?
That's what I do.
How do you do it?
That's how I do it. I pick it up on the other end.
Yeah.
Same line. But now I will say this. I'm not particular about the lines, but I am particular about the trim.
Okay.
I'm a trimmer. I make sure the trim is good. I want square trim. I want everything squared up.
I have been told by multiple people on the text line, and I saw this and I kind of avoided it at first, but we just got another text. Nick asked Sip about mowing half of his yard at a time. Did you get lazy?
I think one time darkness set in.
Okay. That's just bad planning on your part.
And I have done this thing where I'll mow the front, which is that's curb appeal.
Piece.
That's the presentation. In the back, you can't see from the street. So sometimes I'll let the back go and get it another day.
Yikes.
Oh, yikes. Really, yikes.
That's a disappointing thing.
You went with yikes.
It's disappointing.
So far today, syndrome and yikes have been troublesome from you. Old man syndrome you went with. Old man syndrome.
I did say that.
You did.
I do not regret it. I do not take it back. Let's do this, Sip. Let's just recalibrate. I think we need a commercial break to recalibrate. We talked a lot about mowers here.
Okay.
We talked a lot about that. Let's recalibrate. Bill's out today. I'm filling in for Jake Sorensen. It's going to be a fun Friday. The Storms, hope everybody made it through okay. Everybody was aware of what was going on last night.
Looks fine now, doesn't it?
Exactly. Looks like another Friday.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good day today. Appreciate Gaina Trucking, as always, for sponsoring the first hour of Early Break every single day. You can learn more about job openings and opportunities at GainaTrucking.com. When we come back, we're going to talk about the revolutionary agreement and decision that was made in the NCAA with the House and everything, as well with a couple of the power conferences, as revenue sharing is down the road, is coming as soon as fall of 2025. We break it down. Coming up next, you're listening to Early Break on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You're listening to Early Break with Steve Sipple, Jake Sorensen, and Bill Bush on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Looking for a job that feels like family? Join Lincoln Industries, where tradition meets innovation. They're a family-owned, privately held manufacturing company with a passion for excellence and a commitment to their community. They have openings on all shifts at both the main plant and air park facilities, offering flexibility to fit your schedule. Whether you're a seasoned professional or just starting out, there's a place for you there. At Lincoln Industries, they invest in their people's success, providing opportunities for growth and advancement. Apply now and become a part of something special at Lincoln Industries. Gaina Trucking is hiring for heavy equipment operators and a heavy equipment mechanic. Working at Gaina Trucking is a great career with excellent team culture, with benefits package including competitive pay based on experience, health, vision, and dental insurance, and a 401k plan. If you're looking for a new job as a heavy equipment operator or mechanic, apply online at GainaTrucking.com or call 402-794-5000. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking.
Join us this Friday, May 24th for Old School, live from 4 to 6 p.m. for the brand new rooftop at Beer House at 8th and Q in the Haymarket. We're helping unveil their new 40 Torches beer in honor of the 40th year of the Cornhusker State Games. Don't miss it. Old School, this Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. at Beer House.
I'm Ryan Osted. Golf is great because it can be whatever you want it to be. If you want to go out and have a competitive 18 holes, you can make it that. If you want to go out and have a scramble and just have the time of your life, if you want to have a charity golf tournament to raise money for some great cause, you can make it that. It is flexible to be whatever you need it to be at that particular moment in your life. And I've needed golf to be different things at different points in my life. And I'm certainly thankful that I was able to learn the game as a kid and continue to play it now as an adult.
Play better, have fun, and shop Osted's.
For over 15 years, Integrated Life Choices has empowered individuals with disabilities in Lincoln and throughout Nebraska. They provide comprehensive services from group homes and independent living services to job training, ensuring fulfilling lives for those that they serve. Now, they're inviting you to join their mission. If you are passionate about making a difference in the lives of people with developmental disabilities, explore rewarding career opportunities with them. Learn more about their services and apply today at www.ilc.net. Be a part of Integrated Life Choices, where your work truly changes lives.
By now, most of you know how important the Honda of Lincoln sales and service team are to the Lincoln market. Hello, Charlie Stone here, and joining me is Andy Goodyear from Honda of Lincoln to tell you about the great news they just received. Andy, please tell us all about it.
Each year, the Lincoln Journal-Star has an award program called the Lincoln Choice Award, where the customers in Lincoln get to choose the best places to do business. Great pleasure, I get to announce that Honda of Lincoln has won the award for buying new cars, used cars, automotive repair, and even oil changes.
That is amazing, Andy. Any more good news?
Yes, there is, Charlie. We now have more than 100 new Hondas in stock, with hundreds on the way, and a huge selection of all makes and models on our pre-owned lot.
Incredible. Maybe it's time you come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Spring is here, and it's time to wake up Judson. Judson Irrigation is eager and ready to get your sprinkler system up and running for the season. Judson's technicians will check for winter damage, adjust your sprinkler heads, and show you how to set your controller for effective sprinkling coverage. The Judson Irrigation team is here for you. Stay safe.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Highball Bar in downtown Lincoln is open and located just north of 11th and O Street. Highball Bar offers a vibe and atmosphere like no other, making it the perfect place to grab a drink or beverage. Highball Bar features great events such as Karaoke Sunday, $4 Tito's on Mondays, Jack Daniel's specials on Wednesdays, and much more. Make Highball Bar your go-to spot after a hard day at work or on the weekend. Highball Bar, located at 122 North 11th Street in downtown Lincoln.
The Cowboy Mounted Shooting Association National Championship is in Lincoln at the Sandhills Global Center this Thursday through Sunday. Come see cowboys and cowgirls go for the national championships riding fast horses and shooting pistols. The event is free to the public, so come on out and watch the cowboys and cowgirls May 23rd through the 25th, with the showcase event starting at 7 o'clock Thursday evening and Friday evening at the Sandhills Global Center at 84th and Haviland.
This
Anybody who knows me knows I was cocky out of the womb.
is Early Break with Sip and Jake, brought to you by Gaina Trucking. Weekday mornings from 6 to 8 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into Early Break on The Ticket. Nick Sainert in for Jake Sorensen today, and on Tuesday, Steve Sipple alongside Bill Bush out today and Tuesday as well.
Yeah,
Second
Bill.
segment, as always, sponsored by our friends at Beck's Hybrids, the largest independent family-owned seed company, who would like to wish farmers a safe and successful planting season. For any in-season seed needs, make sure you find your nearest Beck's Hybrids seed representative at beckshybrids.com. All right, Sipple. Good stuff in that first segment. Good mower talk, good weather talk. Folks want to listen to that on a Friday, you can check it out at the podcast page, theticketfm.com. Now we got to talk about the NCAA and the Power 5 conference, the revolutionary. I think that's an okay adjective to use. The revolutionary agreement between the power conferences and the NCAA to allow universities revenue sharing with its athletes.
Yeah, here's what's going on, Nick. This was a historic week. I mean, let's just say this is a historic time period because the amateurism model is largely being destroyed. But you're right. Here's the deal. There's a settlement that's occurring. The NCAA Board of Governors voted unanimously Wednesday. The NCAA Board of Governors is the most powerful governing body in the NCAA. Okay, the Board of Governors is the most powerful. Then you have all the conferences voting on this settlement. It's House versus NCAA. They're settling. Correct. They're not going forward. If they would go forward and go to court, that would occur in, I think the winter of 2025. It's a big risk to go to court. The NCAA's lost all these cases. They would be on the hook for perhaps $20 billion. It could send the NCAA into bankruptcy. Yeah. So they're settling.
Understandably so.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So the settlement terms state that the NCAA will provide more than $2.7 billion to former athletes over the next decade for back damages related to the association's name, image, and likeness restrictions. Okay, now that's one part of it. That is just for the years 2016 to 2020, the 4 years prior to NIL. Why is it only 4 years? Because that's statute of limitations. The statute of limitations only goes back 4 years.
An important piece of that you were probably going to talk about already, if athletes do take part in that, being part of that class to receive a piece of that $2.7 billion, the NCAA was smart in this, and making it a caveat is that you can never, ever in the future sue or accuse the NCAA of other potential antitrust issues.
Interesting.
So if there's a former athlete listening and you, from that 2016 to 2020 period that you talked about, that wants to take part in the $2.7 billion agreement that they're going to pay out, then it will prevent you from ever suing the NCAA for other potential antitrust violations.
Ever.
Because here's the deal. There's already a couple of antitrust cases.
Yeah, there's other cases
that they're losing, and they've lost ones in recent history as well. The NCAA has struggled to ever have anybody believe their side and feel bad for them, understandably and probably rightfully so.
Yeah, let's take feelings out of this.
Yeah, right. And so when you look at this one, it's smart of the NCAA once again to be like, okay, we'll pay you this time, but since we pay you, you can never bring up anything that you want to potentially sue us for.
So we've covered that part, the back pay. That now there's the forward-looking element to this story, which is the conferences. The conferences now have agreed to create a forward-looking system that will allow schools to pay. It's going to be in the $20 to $22 million range per year in revenue sharing to athletes. So, and now we're talking about the Power Four now that will pay. They'll have a line item.
Yes.
And it'll be $22 million, $22 million that they will pay to athletes. And as ESPN writes, those direct payments represent an unprecedented paradigm shift in college sports. And they would begin, those payments, this plan would be in effect quickly. Fall of 2025.
Yep.
Fall of 2025. So that's when we say this was a historic week. That's what we're talking about. Now, this all still has to be, there's a lot of people are going to want answers that aren't there. There's a lot that still has to be worked out. There's a judge, Claudia Wilkins.
That's right.
That needs to sign off on it, for lack of a better, I mean, that's not the legal terms, but she needs to sign off on it. There'll be a preliminary hearing where she's presented all the information. And so there's still some levers that have to be pulled, but this is where it's going.
Well, and this is where I think we want to listen or hear from the text line as well, 464-5685, because it is May. It's May 24th, obviously, and it's summer, off season. This is the time where we can kind of let our minds run wild of like, okay, what does this mean? And hypothetical scenarios and just curiosities.
You're
Steve
scaring
Sipple.
me. Yeah.
Well, we talked about this last night, and I looked up a little bit, a couple things, and I was telling Sip last night, okay, like I wonder, how does Title IX come into play here, right? Title IX, because let's say roughly $20 million is there to share. You're going to look at 10 million goes to men, or the male sports, and 10 million goes to the female sports. And as everybody knows, universities, it's not a consistent and similar number of total student athletes across every single school. So, for example, Alabama houses about 780 student athletes. Okay. Oregon, who is a big NIL player with Nike, has 630.
Okay.
So how does the shift and the difference in student athlete numbers affect payments, right? Will the top athlete at a school like Oregon, since there are fewer student athletes to go around, will they get more than at Alabama? Like, that is what I'm truly curious about, and that goes back to we don't have all the answers, and we're not going to for a couple of months here. But that's what I'm curious about, is like, does that then play a factor in recruiting,
right?
Of certain sports, at least, because there are schools that have much more Olympic sports,
right,
and others that don't.
Right.
And so you're talking about there's universities out there that have close to 1,000 student athletes because of all the Olympic sports that they have. What's their fundraising base look like? Do they have to fundraise even more in other areas just to stay competitive with other power conference schools?
Right.
To where they can stay competitive in that NIL payment plan.
These are questions. The questions some people are going to say, will female athletes be compensated equally to males in the context of Title IX? Do you understand that question? Now, based on what I've read, and I talked about this with Jake and Bill, based on what I've read, is that Title IX is not, it's about opportunity, not about money.
And that's where I'm wondering if we see a change.
Well, I don't think so. I doubt it.
And so, and that's what somebody said on the text line. Title IX is only giving women equal amount of sport opportunities. And I'm aware of that. Yeah. But as the collegiate athletic shift continues to occur, I'm wondering if we see other changes across the board. Well, I don't really have an opinion on that. But once again, it's like, we're here in May, and this is one of the curiosities that is I'm shuffling around in my head.
Some of those curiosities you have, the smartest thing to do is to take feeling out of it. Doesn't matter how you feel about it. The law doesn't care. I
don't really have an opinion. I'm genuinely curious on how they.
Right.
Because once again, it's like, you can kind of, not necessarily in this specific instance, you can kind of see and sense when things are going to come down the line, and that will be a conversation. Right. Like that will absolutely, in this day and age of world, society, sports, that will be a conversation that somebody was going to have to address at some point.
The other conversation is very simple. There are schools that can afford a $22 million line item.
Bingo.
And then there's a lot that can't. And we're talking mainly about the group of five. I mean, Ohio State's athletic department, I think the revenue is $250 million. It is. It's $251.8 million. I think Nebraska's is it's probably in the $200 million range. But there's schools that don't. There's schools in the $20 million range.
You're right.
So where do they come up with a $22 million line item to pay athletes?
And let's talk about that too. A potential is, do we see some of the smaller institutions that don't make hundreds of millions of dollars each year go to cut sports, cut athletics, cut players, scholarships? That's once again, that's something that we kind of sense coming down the line that nobody's really addressed yet.
Because it's so early.
Because it's so early. Man, yes.
Early.
But as we know, and as we have experienced, time flies by. Fall of 2025 is going to be here in the blink of an eye.
It is.
And here we are going, what is going to happen? Right? It's how do you avoid With NIL, it was like an avalanche. It came on quick, and you could say you were prepared for it, but you weren't prepared for it.
Nobody was.
Don't allow this to be the same type of situation.
Yeah.
Like you have now ample amounts of time. There is no reason to not be structurally, infrastructure-wise prepared for what's going on or what's coming down the pipeline. That still may require schools to cut smaller programs, cut teams that aren't making money. And then you want to talk about the Title IX there. That's where it could come in also, is if you're cutting a women's sport, do you need to cut a male sport to keep it Title IX in check? So then you're talking about multiple sports being dissolved within institutions. It's a big one. It is. And that's why, I mean, another piece of this, look at the Big Ten media rights deal, right? Like that plays a factor into this. And Nebraska, fortunately enough, sits in a pretty comfortable spot in this case, because they are one of the schools that can probably afford a $20 million pay line.
Oh, yeah, Nebraska for sure.
Nebraska for sure. Yeah, and a big piece of that is because they were just paid $60 million in 2023 from the Big Ten, and that number is only going up with the media rights deal.
Right, the media rights deal is Nebraska's biggest source of revenue, and I think it's followed by ticket money. So, and Nebraska is in my perception of it. I don't have the books at Nebraska. I don't know exactly how well they're situated financially, but my perception is Nebraska is in a strong place financially as an athletic department, but not without challenges.
Well, and we know that a big piece of Trev Alberts, he said it multiple times, and I know people have feelings about Trev Alberts, but was he doesn't want debt.
Right.
He was very against debt. He didn't want to be in the hole. He just wanted it all off.
There are some quotes that I want to share that I mean, I don't know, Nick. I don't know that you do this. I know I do it. I tend to frame this up in a negative tone for some reason.
Interesting.
I do. It doesn't have to be. Charlie Baker, for instance, the NCAA president, framed it up in a positive way, and I appreciated this. He says the most important part about the settlement, and let's face it, there's still a lot of work to be done here, he says, is it creates some clarity and some visibility on a whole bunch of issues that have been sort of roiling everybody for a while. He says that's Charlie Baker of the NCAA. He says the other thing it does is create a predictability and stability for schools. And it creates a tremendous opportunity for student athletes. It creates a predictability and stability for power conference schools. But it's true.
Let's be honest.
This is not all gloom and doom.
It's allowing. Oh, absolutely not. And I think people have been clamoring and pleading for transparency from both NCAA, from institutions and universities, from the whole process. And this is a step in the right direction of that as well, because now it's one of those things where I'm sure it's happened at places. Now people know about it. People know, okay, yeah, part of that $20 million is going to the starting quarterback. Part of that $20 million is going to the starting point guard. Like whatever.
Was there a chance?
That's just a universal understanding. I think it was already before at times. Maybe it wasn't at some places, and that's fine. Like whatever's in the dark is in the dark, whatever. But here you go. Like now it's
true.
open.
Now hold on. Is there a chance that this money will be evenly distributed throughout an athletic department? For instance, say each, I don't know, in an athletic department that has 600 some athletes. I don't know. You got to do the math, and I haven't done it. But what if each of them receives $33,000, $35,000 each? Yeah.
Let's do this. Divided by 635.
What if it's the quarterback not making more than the soccer player?
Well, and that's a potential, right? So here's just a rough number here. $10 million, just because half and half. I just split it evenly. Divided by 635 student athletes. 15,748,000.
So the number
was high.
Well, no.
Well, it double 30,000.
Yeah, double. Yeah.
If you take that whole entire 20 million and spread it throughout all 635 student athletes.
Yeah, so
which is fine.
Is there a possibility that that's the case?
Potentially.
And then
I
here's
think
what's
also
happening.
though you can use it as a recruiting tool, and
now,
I think universities will end up doing that.
Well, hold on. The one thing we haven't addressed is your in-house, we'll call it pay program, could be simple. Just as I said, You pay everybody the same. This now NIL is still a part of this. Collectives aren't going away.
On top of it, absolutely, the
So-
fundraising piece.
So collectives handle the quarterback, the high profile athletes,
Yep.
the scorer on Fred's team that averages 22 that needs $250,000 to stick around.
Yeah.
That's where NIL comes in. So maybe that now I would tell you this. If I were an AD, I would be in favor of that. At first blush, that system appeals to me.
From us, I think, Sip, that are on the outside looking in, and I think a lot of listeners would agree, that's the simple, most realistic, and universally beneficial plan. Now, you can start out that way, but then you know what people are going to do? Use it as a negative recruiting tool. Oh, Nebraska's paying all their student athletes the same? All right, 5-star quarterback, come here and we'll pay you a little extra.
That's a good point.
And so then you're going to get into this arms race. So like
isn't the collective has to come in.
Then the collective has to come in, but then Oregon's collective comes in on top.
And does it.
So
you're right.
So there you go. Right. So like that's where it can start out.
Point.
It can start out as this. Everybody benefits the same. Everybody's on the same playing field. Everybody is in the same boat.
But what if that's the law of the land that everybody's
then go ahead. Then I think that's great. I think that would be once again the universally beneficial idea and the smartest thing to do.
I wonder.
But
I wonder what the
again,
legal ramifications are.
It goes back to, once again, how many student athletes do you have in total? Because if you divide it evenly,
good point.
And this is what kind of going back to the conversation that you and I had last night over the phone. Is Stanford has 1,000 student athletes. We just found out Oregon has 634. That's a drastic difference per student athlete.
Yeah, Oregon's going to make more.
So and if coaches are smart and aware, which they should be because they're getting paid millions of dollars to do so, they will find that out and they will use that as a negative recruiting tool.
Absolutely,
and understandably so.
Because the Oregon athlete, by virtue of the fact there's fewer, will make more money.
There you go.
So now that is a complication. There's a lot of them.
Yes. And when it all said and done, and Ron says this on the text line, just get rid of NIL, just pay a contract salary. Unnamed texter laughs and said, this is just a complete mess. But it doesn't have to be. They have, once again, ample amount of time to get all of their ducks in a row.
The other part of this is, again, now I'm going to read another quote that's more uplifting. Okay. And I hope this makes sense to the breakers. This is from Jeffrey Kessler, who's an attorney, a plaintiff attorney he represents the House part of this, House versus NCAA. He's a plaintiff attorney. He said, you really have to think about the Power Four as being different. The reason we get tied in knots in this discussion is because we conflate those schools, those Power Four conference schools who have developed these gigantic independent commercial businesses with the schools who are just educational institutions with extracurricular activities. When you try to come up with one rule for all, you go crazy. You have to look at the schools differently. For the ones with the money, that's Nebraska is included in that. For the ones with the money, there is plenty of money to compensate the athletes and share it with the women's sports.
Absolutely.
In the power conferences, this doesn't have to be a complete headache because the money's there. The money's there. And now you know what else is there? There are guardrails in place now.
Yeah.
This is a step forward, I would say. Now, correct me if I'm wrong here, Nick. This is a step forward for the power conference schools.
Absolutely.
But what about the others?
Well, and that's the thing is we're now seeing the first time I think that the NCAA has truly acknowledged that there are four on top and everybody else is kind of in a separate pool. And that's the first time. And I think we started to see it. It was first put into motion when Sankey and Petiti met and was like, all right, we're going to be buddies here. Let's form this alliance, right? So we kind of saw that. Let's just have a meeting. We're just having a meeting. We're not doing anything. We're just doing a meeting. We're not trying to overtake the NCAA.
All right.
But we saw it coming.
Yeah, they were.
Now, here's a productive and positive piece of this for the folks. And it's even more important, and it helps out for the sake of argument with the Jaden Rashada stuff.
Yes.
Because you know what this allows to come down the pipeline later? Collective bargaining. Collective bargaining is going to be good for the NCAA, for college athletes. Having not necessarily a players union, but in some instances, a players union, because it's going to force universities to be upfront, honest, and true to their word, but it's also going to tie in the student athletes and force them to be true to their word.
Oh,
the guy I'm blanking on the name, the offensive lineman that went from Alabama to Iowa back to Alabama.
Proctor.
Caden Proctor.
Proctor.
It's going to not allow that to happen.
Right.
Like those stories of and instances of guys just taking NIL money and then dipping, or in Jaden Rashada's case, Florida not having a written contract and Jaden Rashada just allowing there to not be a written contract, that can't happen.
No,
with collective bargaining.
No, I'm glad
you're. So this once again is a step in the right direction, because everybody that says NIL is out of control. Well, you know what keeps it in the parameters? Having a universal idea and collective bargaining. That's why salaries are all similar in professional leagues.
I don't understand the legal ramifications of collective bargaining, so I don't want to delve too far into that personally. But I know this. I think there's going to come. Okay, you have the Jaden Rashada case where he sues Billy Napier. He doesn't sue Florida, but he sues Billy Napier, and he sues a
couple other people, Marcus Castro,
individuals.
Walker.
Individuals. There's going to come a time when a school sues a kid. That's what you're talking about,
and that's my point. And to be
honest,
what
you're talking about.
We want to talk about how there needs to be more people involved. If that's the case, we just talked about how big the commercial businesses are. And the Big Ten delved out, there's like $3 million in legal fees in 2023 as well. But ultimately, when it's all said and done, if the interest is truly in the student athlete, right?
Yeah.
If a university sues a student athlete, it is going to be extremely beneficial to have a union, a group of student athletes, a legal team that represents all student athletes, that truly understands the legal lingo, backing whichever student athlete is getting sued. And this is a step in that direction.
You're presenting this as if it will happen for sure.
I don't see, because once again, everybody argues, and rightfully so, NIL is just out of whack. And and once again, especially right now where the NCAA isn't going to launch any third-party investigations into anything. They're putting pause onto all that. No. So truly it is, as the cliche reference, the wild, wild west, whatever. That is something that can provide structure. And also transparency, which is once again what everybody wishes for.
Right. And so I think this week, with this settlement occurring, that you are seeing greater transparency. Now you do know. I mean, there's a system in place that you at least understand. Even if you're in a group of 5, at least you know the rules now.
Yes.
So now you have to adjust accordingly.
You also know exactly what you're up against.
Right. Exactly. That's what I'm getting at. And Nebraska knows they know now. Nebraska knows, okay, it's moving in-house.
There you go.
Okay. Now we do have to have a line item. I think, and this is where you give Trev credit. Well, I mean, I know this. I talked to Trev Alberts about it. He saw this coming a long time ago. I would say, Nick, he saw this coming as he took the job. I mean, I can remember my first interviews with Trev, him saying this will eventually move in-house. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah.
And we have to be prepared. And I think Nebraska is prepared. But God, that's a big line item. $22 million is not a small line item. I mean, that's a stint. I think what you're talking about is what the way they figured it up is it's 20% of your revenue, an average of 20% of schools' revenues across the board. So it's a very very large line item.
So another piece of this is, I think, universities, especially ones that maybe aren't Nebraska, are going to look for ways to, how can we alleviate funds to just add to this $20 million line, right? Yeah. Alcohol sales aren't a massive beneficiary. I think North Carolina had $4 million in alcohol sales last year.
Football?
$4 million you're looking at. So it's not
just football or across the board?
Just football.
Okay.
So it's not a large number.
It's a number,
but it's a number.
Yeah.
And schools that maybe are switching numbers around and trying to play with certain things are going to look at that and go, okay, that's a piece of it.
Oh,
right?
People are going to be looking at everything.
That's a fifth of it.
Oh, you're looking at everything.
So it'll be interesting to see how how do renovations change and plans for renovations change? Do organizations or universities say, okay, we're going to put that on hold right now, or this $750 million deal project, we're gonna delay that a couple of years. One thing that's interesting that people don't really think about is the longer that you delay projects, the more expensive they're going to cost.
Perhaps,
right?
yes.
Like a $450 million project in 2024 might cost $600 million in 2030. And so you're looking at that like maybe it's smart to just do it now and continue this arms race in college athletics. That's another whole piece of it and rabbit hole that we won't dive into.
No, we don't need to dive into it.
It's a fascinating type of thing right now because also you mentioned Trev Alberts was ready for it. So was Troy Dannon. Troy Dannon said it in his introductory press conference that he saw this type of situation coming down the road. And I think I don't want to misquote him, said something along the lines of like, it's going to happen quick. We just don't know when.
It's happened.
And here we are just a couple months into the job. Troy Dannon was correct in his introductory press conference. So once again, NCAA and the Power 5, Power 4 conferences have officially agreed to a deal that will allow universities to pay players. It's going to be about a $20 million line. The sharing revenue will likely start in the fall of 2025. Another piece of this that we kind of briefly touched on, there's a settlement that's in place that the NCAA will pay around $2.7 billion to settle 3 pending antitrust cases that involves past and current student athletes over the last 10 years or so. But a kicker. That's according to the ESPN article.
Yeah, it's worded poorly. It makes it sound like you're going back 10 years and paying athletes. You're going back 4.
Yeah, to 2016, 20 through 2020. But a piece of that's important to note is that if a student athlete decides to take a chunk of that 2.7 billion, they can never sue the NCAA for any other potential antitrust violations in the future. So if you're happy with taking $100,000 right now, don't ever sue us for $1 million down the road. You can't happen. And so there's going to be a lot of signatures and a lot of contractual agreements coming down the road with past student athletes. All right, let's go ahead and take a break. When we come back,
we need a break.
Song of the day. I went probably safe here. I'm probably going to get criticized on the text line. I went a little too safe, I would imagine, but I was looking for a Good Friday song. And so that's what I feel like we got here. It is early break. Nick Sainert filling in for Jake Sorensen. Bill Bush out today and Tuesday. So Steve Sipple and I just riding together. Tandem. Here we are. It's the 2-person show.
It's a 2-person show.
Here we go.
We're having a conversation.
As always.
And Ben is here too, by the way.
Ben is here. Ben is here as always. Huge thanks to Gaina Trucking for sponsoring the first hour, as always. And thanks to Bex Hybrids for sponsoring the second segment, as always as well. BexHybrids.com. Find their partners. We'll be right back. Song of the day coming up next.
You're listening to Early Break with Steve Sipple, Jake Sorensen, and Bill Bush on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You don't think about your roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you with the highest quality roofing solution. Whether it's a new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place too. Visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
Looking for a job that feels like family? Join Lincoln Industries, where tradition meets innovation. They're a family-owned, privately held manufacturing company with a passion for excellence and a commitment to their community. They have openings on all shifts at both the main plant and air park facilities, offering flexibility to fit your schedule. Whether you're a seasoned professional or just starting out, there's a place for you there. At Lincoln Industries, they invest in their people's success, providing opportunities for growth and advancement. Apply now and become a part of something special at Lincoln Industries.
This is Coach Bill Bush. You all know my passion for Nebraska. Having coached all over the country, I can honestly say there is no place like Nebraska. You know where there's also no place like? Midwest Bank. Midwest Bank has proudly served Nebraska for over 70 years, and they're located in 9 different communities. Midwest Bank is ready, willing, and able to meet all your personal, business, and agriculture needs. Your community, your bank, and mine, Midwest Bank. Find out more at Midwest Bank. Member FDIC.
You know that dollar bill you've got stuffed in your wallet, purse, or pocket? Give it a little respect because it could win you millions. Lotto America from the Nebraska Lottery is here, and it only costs $1 to play. It has a $2 million starting jackpot with drawings every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. What's more, you can add the All-Star bonus for an additional $1 to multiply any prize won. So unwrinkle that dollar bill in your glove box and play today. Lotto America top prize odds 1 in 26 million.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Hey, baseball fans, join the Blur Tailgate at Hilton Omaha this June for our 12th annual hospitality event during the College Baseball Championship Series. Book an experience for your clients or employees with an inclusive bar, buffet, TVs, music, and tailgate games. Secure your spot today and let Blur Events take care of all the work so you can enjoy the day. Plus, we're just steps away from Charles Schwab Field. Visit blurevents.com to book your group, buy tickets, or learn about sponsorships. That's blurevents.com, your college baseball and football tailgate destination.
Not many businesses can say they've made it 60 years, but Madsen's Bowling and Billiards can. With 12 bowling lanes and the biggest pool room in Nebraska, where else would you go to enjoy an afternoon or evening? There's a great daily specials like $2 Tuesdays, games of bowling, shoe rentals, draft beers, and tacos, all just $2 each. Have a delicious burger at EJ's Lounge before or after your bowling or pool session, and you'll leave satisfied. Madsen's Bowling and Billiards at 47th and Dudley.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here, summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations, and weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes and models from Porsches to Hondas, Toyotas, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, downtown Lincoln, always honest answers.
Play ball! Ready to unleash the fun with Salt Dogs Baseball? Join us at Haymarket Park for 50 action-packed games running through August. Stay ahead of the game by visiting saltdogs.com for updates on exciting promotions, giveaways, and events happening each week. Experience a change-up from your typical family night, or make it a Grand Slam good time with friends and coworkers.
Strike 3, you're out!
Don't miss the fun happening all summer long. Visit saltdogs.com to get your tickets and unleash the fun.
You love to bash his sports takes.
Now, will you feel like an idiot if you're
No,
a big tough
never feel like an
if
idiot.
you're a big tough guy this morning?
But you really love to voice your displeasure for his music choices.
He stumbled on an issue that I did not think would generate this much passion and discussion.
It's time for Jake's questionable song of the day on Early Break on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Where did you come from, baby? And ooh, won't you take me there right away? Won't you, baby? Tender road, you got to be. Spark my need, just sugar fly with me. Don't you know now is the perfect time? We can make it right in the city.
YT, Pretty Young Thing by Michael Jackson. In 1982, Sip, initial thoughts. Where are we at?
Okay, Nick. This is going to be interesting. It's going to be.
Certainly is.
It is. This is going to get interesting with the breakers.
Wow.
Hey, don't tell me yet. Don't tell me yet what's going on your screen over there.
They are firing.
Don't tell me.
They are firing.
Don't tell me.
Wow.
The best I can do is say that's interesting. I know it's Michael Jackson.
Did you know the song?
No, never heard it. That's the first time I've heard it. Oh God,
interesting.
Ben's looking at me like
Ben's fired up.
You dumb old man. He's saying you are an old man.
Old man syndrome.
Can we not say syndrome?
1982. Here we go.
Can we not say the word syndrome?
I thought this would potentially be in your house or in your wheelhouse.
Well, I don't mind Michael Jackson. I mean, Thriller and there's a lot of good songs.
Name another one.
I know some of them. I just don't know them by title.
Yep.
Give me one and I'll give you some lyrics. Just give me one.
Beat it.
Beat it. Beat it. Yeah, that one.
Okay.
So yeah, I do know Michael Jackson. Give me one more.
Any favors here. Just rate the song.
Okay.
What are you thinking?
Okay. Show them how funky. Show them what's right. Right.
Yes.
It doesn't matter.
What are your thoughts on
if
this
it's
one?
wrong or right. Just beat it. See, I know Michael Jackson.
Right. That is correct. Good
All
job. Good
right.
job.
I can't give that a high number. I mean, me and Bill made a pact to be very bluntly honest on these. If we like it, we give it a high grade. If we don't, we give it a low grade. That song does nothing for me. That song does zero for me. It just does nothing. I don't think it's a good song. It couldn't have been a hit.
Okay.
It couldn't have been a hit, right?
I can let you know.
I don't think that was a top 40 song, was it? I mean, I've never heard it.
Let's see.
I'm going to say
it rose to, the single charted at number 10 on the Billboard Hot 100.
That's astounding to me.
In 1983.
Okay, it did. I'm going 3.755.
Okay, sounds good. Where do we think Ben lands on this one?
Higher.
I think much higher.
6.3.
I'm going to say about 8.1.
Okay.
9.3 for young Ben. 9.3.
He likes Michael Jackson.
For young Ben. Okay, there's a lot of thoughts on this text line.
I want to hear him.
Let's dive into it. First, let's go to the YouTube stream. Steven says, wow, -10. Big Bolt says, big swim, wow, -10.5.
Ooh.
Moonbot says 5.7. All right, here we go.
Okay.
From the text line, John in Southeast Lincoln says a solid 1.1. Rod in South Lincoln says 7.0.
Okay.
Tom Petty sucks says 5.
Okay.
Triple H's dad says 6. Mike in Kansas says weird guy but great music 8.125.
Okay.
Unnamed texter says F yeah, young MJ, pretty young thing 10. Bird in Columbus gives it a 1.
Bird gives it a 1.
Bird Mountain says 10.
Huh.
Mike in Dalton 5.2. Officer McLeod in Columbus 7.4621901.
Okay.
Bob in Minnesota 2. Not how I hope to start my weekend. I also thought, here's the thing. Here's what I was going to do. I told Ben in between the last segment and this segment, I didn't even make the connection. I should have done a Memorial Day song. So that's on me.
No,
Breakers.
you're okay.
That's on me.
It doesn't have to be.
I should have done an American song. So I apologize.
No,
on that
you're
one.
fine on that. You're fine.
Ryan in California says 1.4. Downtown Scott says 7.2. Nick is better than Jake at picking music. I'm going to leave that one up for the Breakers. Notorious B.I.B. says total crap, Nick, 0.2. Not an MJ fan, and that's one of his worst songs. It's a 0.5 from John from Fremont. Ellis in Illinois says indisputable that he is a legend, but that song is not my thing, but I still give it an 8.0.
Okay.
Sam at Hy-Vee says 10. Way to
Sam.
rock.
I wonder if Sam's working. Oh, Sam likes that.
There you go. Leroy, age 37, says, Nick, you're fired. 1.1.
You're not fired.
Scott from Bancroft says the song a 4.22673. Jennifer gives it a 5. Hubby, 5.5.
Okay,
stop. I like Michael, just not that song.
Yeah, stop. Now, they are very fair-minded. They are with us every day.
They are.
The fact that they went that low should be concerning to you.
I don't think I've ever gotten Jennifer and hubby to give me a high score. I think I'm just missing their lane.
Yeah.
I'm missing their lane.
Missing their lane.
I apologize to Jennifer and hubby. There you go. Shemaiah B, 8.3. We got worst Michael Jackson song, 3.3. Tony and Shelby says Jake needs to leave way less, 1.5. How about that?
How about that?
Somebody in all caps, Husker Rick. Not a banger. That song is terrible. I give it a 1. Love Sip singing. Husker Rick. Thank you, Husker Rick. Last but not least, we have Zach gives it a 7.3. Loved that song earlier when I was a kid, but then we also got Bill Buckner fan, 0.1986.
Yeah,
all over the map on a Friday.
Pretty all over the map. Now I will say this. I'm sorry. There's more lower scores than usual.
Oh, that's fine. That's okay.
Now hold on, Jake. Okay, now inevitably when you're in that chair, you're going to get compared to Jake. You know what Jake's really good at?
What's that?
Coming with hits of artists. So you name Thriller, Beat It. Give me 2 more Michael Jackson hits. He's good at this.
Jake?
Yeah, really good at this.
You have Scream.
Okay.
Thriller.
Yep. We named Thriller.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
We have
Billie Jean.
Billie Jean.
Yeah, thank you, Ben. Ben, that was Ben.
Okay, Ben. Nice job.
Billie Jean.
Human Nature, say.
Yeah. Billie Jean, Not My Lover. She's just says that I am the one. See, I know Michael Jackson.
Okay. I truly thought, 80s, this is right in Sip's wheelhouse.
No, I never heard that one, though.
You always talk about how you're checked in in the 80s.
I was checked in.
Not well enough.
Up to about 87, I was checked in. I've been largely checked out since 87, I'd say.
So there you have it.
Yeah.
All
Dangerous Criminal is another Michael Jackson song.
There you go.
You know who's a Michael Jackson fan?
Young Ben.
Young
Ben. There you have it. Man in the Mirror. Thank you, Texas.
Man in the Mirror.
So there you have it. All right, it is time, real quick, before we take a break, for our one of the best segments of the week, I would say, Aging Gracefully.
Okay.
Sponsored by our friends at Tread Central Tire Pros. Once again, just south of Cortland on Highway 77. The Palace of Tires is what they call Tread Central Tire Pros. YourNextTire.com. And once again, sponsors of Aging Gracefully. The floor is yours, Steve.
Well,
Sippel.
the floor is also yours because you got to help me with something. I turn to you sometimes for life issues, and we hit one yesterday, and I hope breakers don't roll their eyes and say, didn't you cover this yesterday? Yeah, we did cover it yesterday, but it's on my mind. There's so many things in this world that are nuanced, and there's these codes and unwritten rules that you have to abide by that challenge me. And we had a plane discussion, an airplane discussion yesterday that mystified me.
Okay.
And that is the etiquette on how much you talk to the person next to you that you don't know.
Oh, I have an opinion on this.
I'd like to hear it.
Flying...
Now, my aging gracefully.
Yes.
Keep this in the context of helping me age gracefully because I never know what to do. Should I talk to the person? Does the person want to talk to me? I don't know. What do you do?
I'll be honest. So I don't. I think it's okay to talk on a plane. I just don't need a whole life story. And this is, I hope he's not listening.
Okay.
I was flying back from Vegas a couple of weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Same trip that I was in Columbus, Ohio for.
Okay.
Wait
a second. Vegas, Columbus, Ohio.
I went from Columbus, Ohio to Vegas, then Vegas to Omaha.
Okay.
Anyway, so in coming back from Vegas, I was ready to come home, right?
Sure.
And this guy sits down next to me. First of all, a larger man chose the middle seat. That was the first issue. I'm going to say this. The aisle seat was open. I was on the window.
Oh boy.
The aisle and middle seat were open, and the larger man chose the middle seat.
I wonder why he did that.
A little freaked out by that just to begin with. Okay. I'm just going to let folks know about that.
Okay.
He then proceeds to tell me how he got into the world of competitive bowling.
Oh.
And I just did not care. I truly didn't. And it was one of those.
Now what?
Also,
now
what?
What do
here's
you
the
do?
Thing.
Now what do you do?
I put my headphones in eventually after about a 5-minute conversation while we were sitting on the runway. Put him in my headphones, and he continued to talk.
Now,
and
what
because
do you do?
because of that, I purchased new AirPods that have noise cancellation, so that I cannot hear him. Because I didn't want to deal with it. And I don't know if that makes me a bad person. I apologize.
I wonder if that makes you a bad person.
But here's the deal: is like we had a good 5-minute conversation. I had zero issues with it. I had zero issues. But first of all, it's just the series of events to where he sits down in the middle seat, and we're sitting on the runway for 30 minutes. The guy couldn't get on his phone without expanding his arms, his wingspan, And then he also didn't understand that like his legs didn't need to be spread wide open to just sit there. He can put them together. And so it was okay. So people can't see it over the radio, obviously, but Sip, you can. The entire flight home from Vegas, I had to hold my left elbow like I was doing the stretch across my body because this man was sitting next to us.
Yeah, that's trouble.
And then he was like, I came here for a competitive bowling tournament. I finally got off work and I was finally able to be a part of my competitive bowling tournament. And we ended up getting third, and I wasn't going to fly back tonight, but here I am flying back tonight. And I was like, well, glad you're going to get back to Omaha. And then I said, where are you from? Are you from Omaha or Lincoln?
What did he say?
He said Lincoln.
Oh,
and
so
I said,
he could be listening.
So he could be listening.
God bless him. Now, now this is, okay, this conversation occurs in the context of aging gracefully. That man is not aging gracefully.
It was unfortunate because I'm a big person on like, people need to pick up on context clues.
Mm-hmm. Hey, listen.
That's my thing. Pick up on context clues. If somebody's putting in headphones and just starts nodding, they don't want to talk to you.
Right.
I'm aware of that. If I were to sit next to you, Sip, on a plane, and you were just like, yeah, that's cool. How's it going? I think it's okay to be like, how are you doing? I think it's okay. I think it's okay to break the ice and be like, all right, how's it going? I'm going to sit next to you for the next 2.5 hours. We might bump knees on accident. That's fine. I flew to Denver. I went for the Colorado game, flew to Denver, and I was last year. And this woman sat next to me, and she was a little older. She's like, I'm sorry, I might bump your knee. I might just, and I was like, it's totally fine. Let's just break the ice, get it out of the way. These planes are tight. We're good. We're both in economy. We're good.
Okay.
If we bump shoulders, we're fine.
Okay.
No hard feelings.
Okay.
Get that out of the way. I think
and
that's also a
good
thing. Is I always say, so I always make a joke like, sorry, you got to sit next to a little bit bigger of a dude.
Okay.
And I'm like, sorry if I bump you. Gets it out of the way, put my headphones in, they put their headphones in. Then throughout the flight, if it's just in the middle of it, and oops, I bumped the knee, or oops, sorry, I tried to stretch my leg and I hit you. No hard feelings.
Based on this conversation, I think I am aging gracefully in the plain sense. In this, and based on what Bill said yesterday and Jake and this, I think I'm doing okay. My thing is guilt because I'm not a talker on the plane. I'm not the guy that's going to tell you about what I did in Vegas or tell you anything. I will say sometimes. Now this is where I have guilt and where I probably need more grace and could age more gracefully going forward. At least say hi. Sometimes I don't even say hi.
I'm in.
Sometimes I don't even say hi.
So here's the thing: is
that off-putting to you?
I would say hello.
Okay.
I would say hello.
Because
you're going to be so close to them for at least an extended period of time.
Yeah, generally I do, but there's been times where I don't even say anything. I just don't say anything.
And if you're sleeping or if your eyes closed, like that's one thing too. I would say that I will say that after that Vegas flight home to Omaha, is that I have now decided that I'm never doing a window seat. I love the window seat, but because of that one experience, I will have the aisle. I will take the aisle every single time.
Yeah, I always tell Sean, who books our stuff, Sean Callahan, get me on the aisle.
I love window seats.
Get me on the aisle.
But you know what? It's just unfortunate. Simple. We got to get out of here. We got to start the 7 o'clock hour
at
7:27 a.m. It's 7:24, but we got to start the 7 o'clock hour coming up next.
All right. What now? Tease it. Where do you want to go?
We got baseball.
Okay, you want to go to Husker baseball?
We got baseball to talk about.
Okay,
they have a big one today.
Let's do it.
The game show. A couple other things coming up down the pipeline. Okay. Coming up next. 7 o'clock hour when we come back.
You're listening to Early Break with Steve Sipple, Jake Sorensen, and Bill Bush on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Gaina Trucking is hiring for heavy equipment operators and a heavy equipment mechanic. Working at Gaina Trucking is a great career with excellent team culture, with benefits package including competitive pay based on experience, health, vision, and dental insurance, and a 401k plan. If you're looking for a new job as a heavy equipment operator or mechanic, apply online at GainaTrucking.com or call 402-794-5000. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking.
Constructors is now hiring for all positions, with laborers starting at $23 and up based on experience. Constructors has immediate job openings for laborers, mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. Start your new career today. Constructors offers great pay, health, dental, and vision insurance, paid time off, paid holidays, and so much more. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. For a complete list of openings and to apply online, visit constructorslincoln.com.
I'm Ryan Osted. Golf is great because it can be whatever you want it to be. If you want to go out and have a competitive 18 holes, you can make it that. If you want to go out and have a scramble and just have the time of your life, if you want to have a charity golf tournament to raise money for some great cause, you can make it that. It is flexible to be whatever you need it to be at that particular moment in your life. And I've needed golf to be different things at different points in my life. And I'm certainly thankful that I was able to learn the game as a kid and continue to play it now as an adult.
Play better, have fun, and shop Osted's.
Looking for a job that feels like family? Join Lincoln Industries, where tradition meets innovation. They're a family-owned, privately held manufacturing company with a passion for excellence and a commitment to their community. They have openings on all shifts at both the main plant and air park facilities, offering flexibility to fit your schedule. Whether you're a seasoned professional or just starting out, there's a place for you there. At Lincoln Industries, they invest in their people's success, providing opportunities for growth and advancement. Apply now and become a part of something special at Lincoln Industries.
Plains Cover Crop is your one-stop seed shop. Call us now for spring and summer forages, CRP mixes, and fall cover crop blends. We do farm-specific consulting for practical and efficient seed blends to fit your geography and goals. With a very diverse inventory, we will tailor a blend just for you. We're also looking for contract growers, and we buy and sell rye. Find us online at plainscovercrop.com. Timeless agronomy practices paired with modern technology. East Highway 20 in Orchard and across Nebraska.
Spring is here, and it's time to wake up Judson. Judson Irrigation is eager and ready to get your sprinkler system up and running for the season. Judson's technicians will check for winter damage, adjust your sprinkler heads, and show you how to set your controller for effective sprinkling coverage. The Judson Irrigation team is here for you. Stay safe.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Join On the Block and Old School live from Scissors and Scotch on 30th and Yankee Hill on Thursday, June 6th to celebrate their grand opening. Feel better instantly with a beard trim, haircut, or a traditional shave courtesy of the experienced and professional barbers at Scissors and Scotch. Stick around after your cut and enjoy a beverage in their cozy bar area, and don't worry, there's more than just Scotch. Spend your afternoon with Scissors and Scotch at 93.7 The Ticket, live on location June 6th from 2 to 6 p.m.
Hey, baseball fans, join the Blur Tailgate at Hilton Omaha this June for our 12th annual hospitality event during the College Baseball Championship Series. Book an experience for your clients or employees with an inclusive bar, buffet, TVs, music, and tailgate games. Secure your spot today and let Blur Events take care of all the work so you can enjoy the day. Plus, we're just steps away from Charles Schwab Field. Visit blurevents.com to book your group, buy tickets, or learn about sponsorships. That's blurevents.com, your college baseball and football tailgate destination.
Wake up, Lincoln.
I overslept. Damn rooster didn't crow.
It's time for Early Break, sponsored by Midwest Bank. Live from Lincoln, America. Here's 93.7 The Ticket's Jake Sorensen.
I'm wrong, but I'm not.
Husker Online, Steve Sipple.
If I were a feral cat.
And longtime college football assistant coach, Bill Bush.
You get one team. Mine's the Houston Oilers. I'm not the Texans, and I'm not the Titans, so I'm out.
This is Early Break.
That is right. Hour number 2, starting at 7:30 a.m.
Interesting.
Sponsored by Midwest Bank member FDIC. Appreciate Steve Schindler, Shin Daddy, for all his work out there. Midwest Bank. Make sure you go check them out as well. All right, Simple. We'll move pretty abbreviated here throughout the second hour. But a couple quick segments. We're going to talk Husker baseball, preview their game today against the Ohio State Buckeyes for a couple minutes, and then get ready for the game show here in about 15 minutes or so. But once again, 402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline, Starter Heyman text line open for you guys, as well as the Starter Heyman Jewelers live video stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Allo Channel 961. All right, so Husker baseball, big day today. They get a rematch opportunity against the Ohio State Buckeyes at 2 p.m. this afternoon. After Ohio State in the 1-0, the winner's bracket game, Ohio State falls to Indiana 14-7. Mason McConaughey gets the nod on the mound for the Huskers. The two teams, just an overview of the Big Ten tournament currently, the two teams that are in the driver's seat are number 3 seed Indiana. And then how about this? Number 8 seed Penn State. Penn State yesterday hit a go-ahead grand slam. They were down 5-3 in the 8th inning to the number 5 seed Michigan Wolverines and hit a go-ahead grand slam with nobody out in the bottom of the 8th inning, or top of the 8th inning rather. And they ended up knocking off Michigan to be 2-0 in their part of the bracket.
Good story brewing. Now Nebraska wants to make itself a good story by staging a huge, rally. Now the one thing to point out, in 7 previous Big Ten tournaments, when it's an 18 format, no school that lost its first game has advanced to the final. So they're up against
1995.
Yeah, so they're up against it in that regard. But you would have to say, Nick, that Nebraska's in a pretty good spot pitching staff wise, right?
I've gone back and forth on this, and the reason why, you use 4 pitchers on Tuesday, you use 2 on Wednesday. That was a good outing.
Sears and Christo really helped matters.
Oh, absolutely, tonight. I think there's, I don't want to say add some pressure. I think there's some expectation that McConaughey gives you 5 or 6 tonight.
Mason McConaughey
kind of needs to.
Mason McConaughey. I mean, good season, 7-3. Yeah, 3.10 ERA. They're fortunate to have Mason. You'd say he's a number 2 starter.
Absolutely, number 2 guy, Saturday guy for Nebraska all season long. I would also add this, and the reason why I say there's added pressure on Mason to go. By the way, his younger brother Matthew is also on the team. Okay. Matthew McConaughey. But nonetheless, when you look at Nebraska's pitching situation, the reason I say there's probably a little added pressure, not only because it's an elimination game, but also because you look at what's ahead, right? And Nebraska's staff can only worry really about today's game, because Nebraska will be playing in an elimination game from here on out until they make the potential Big Ten championship on Sunday. But you look at the pitching situation and the potential for Nebraska will have to play 4 games if they make the Big Ten championship in the span of 3 days.
Right.
They will need to obviously win today.
Right.
And then they would have a game in the morning tomorrow.
Okay. Against Indiana.
And they would have to beat the Hoosiers twice tomorrow.
That's
they would
the
have
trick.
2 games tomorrow, and then just to make it to the Big Ten championship game. And so the reason that I say there's added pressure is because look at the outlook. Nebraska's bullpen, Nebraska's midweek guys that you're probably going to see a little more frequently in these next couple of games have not been the most reliable this season, obviously, per Nebraska's midweek record. And so I would look at it and go, all right, Mason, we need 6 out of you. We need a quality start is what constitutes
Get
that.
a quality start from him, and then you have sitting there a potential Saturday starting candidate is Will Walsh, right?
Absolutely. And
he pitched a 4-hit shutout at last year's conference tournament. He's been on that hill at that stadium, and obviously he has a degree of comfort, and has been a weekend starter this year.
You're right. And Nebraska's struggled to find the consistency in their Sunday starter. They've gone back and forth, right? Will Walsh is one of those guys. The concern there is that through this season, especially if you go back to that game against Creighton at the start of April, it takes him a couple of innings to get going, to get into a groove. Against an Indiana team that Nebraska would hypothetically face in tomorrow's game.
I can smack it.
You can't get down in a hole early. That's where Nebraska gets into a lot of trouble. Is Nebraska, we saw it. Wednesday was a perfect example of Nebraska baseball. Sometimes Nebraska, their players miss the identity that they need to truly embrace.
Which is
we saw it last year with Max Anderson, with Bryce Matthews, to where they tried to hit the long ball extensively. They didn't have that's not the identity that they need to embrace.
What is the identity you're talking about?
We saw it on Wednesday against Purdue. I'm going to tell you. Jeez, aggressive.
Very, very annoying.
Very
annoying. You can use annoying if you want to.
But nonetheless, old man syndrome. Nonetheless, is that when you look at Nebraska, Wednesday's the perfect example because Brett Sears, what he gives you and what Mason McConaughey can give you tonight, or this afternoon rather, is limiting damage. Brett Sears, I said it yesterday and I'll say it again, where on Wednesday, Brett did a great job of not allowing free passes. The defense did a great job of not committing errors. The free passes are what kill you, Sip. And the reason I say that is because Sears allowed a solo shot in the first inning. So be it. So be it. It's one run. You're going to need to score. Where you run into trouble, especially a team like Nebraska and a lot of college baseball teams, I'm not trying to make this a solely Nebraska issue. If you walk a guy, if you make an error in the field, well, then you have it runners on first and second. Okay, that solo shot turns into a 3-run bomb.
I get it.
That's where you run into issues. Nebraska ran into that issue against Ohio State on Tuesday. That is what Mason McConaughey needs to do tonight. It's okay if you allow a solo shot, or if Ohio State today gets 2 base hits back to back. The gap shots don't bother you. The right set, the 2-out double doesn't bother you. As long as you don't allow free passes.
They don't allow a lot of them, though. This is a team.
They did on Tuesday.
Yeah, they did on Tuesday. That was an anomaly.
That's my point, though, because in the games that Nebraska's lost, it's been a common denominator of allowing free passes, poor defense, but then also trying to do too much at the plate. Wednesday was the perfect blend of limiting those things defensively and on the mound, but also having the correct approach at the plate. And what I mean by that is discipline, not swinging at balls in the dirt, not trying to do too much with your at-bats. Do your job. Do your J. And what I mean by that is like Gabe Swanson. He continued, and it's the at-bat that sparked it. Nebraska's down 1-0 in the top of the second. Gabe Swanson, 12 pitch at-bat that results in a walk.
Spark.
It
was a spark.
It absolutely was. Understanding that sparks can come in different forms. And different results can spark things. Doesn't have to be a home run. Doesn't have to be a gap double. Doesn't have to be. It can be something as little as a walk, being disciplined at the plate, continuing to fight off pitches. That's what can fuel your guys.
Right. When I say, in Nick, going back to the pitching, when I say they're well positioned, it's a broad conversation in that they are the best pitching staff in the Big Ten.
Yeah,
they are clearly
statistically
the best, and it's not close. They're the best pitching staff in the Big Ten. They still have some guys to work with here.
They do.
So we'll see what happens. They got it. I mean, obviously, you feel pretty good about today, right? You feel pretty good.
Like to.
Yeah.
You would like to feel good about it.
Ohio State.
I think so much of it is genuinely approach at the plate. Like we see the difference. Nebraska, if they get down in a hole, it all works. We always talk about complementary football every single time. This is complementary baseball. You got to have a combination of throwing strikes on the mound, being competitive with your pitches, especially understanding the park that you're playing in. Usually now early in the tournament, it was a little different because the wind was blowing out. Usually in the tournament in Charles Schwab Field, it's a pitcher-friendly ballpark.
It is.
It usually is. Play the advantages that you have. If you're Nebraska here, throw competitive pitches, make Ohio State beat you, and once again, then you tip your cap. It also benefits Nebraska offensively because, as we saw in difference between Tuesday and Wednesday, Tuesday they went up with the approach of I got to make the big hit here because nobody else is. Wednesday we saw a completely different approach at the plate, to where they settled in, they looked at the scoreboard, they saw, okay, Brett Sears was down or gave up a solo shot. Who cares? We got Sears on the mound. Let's go. And they slowly chipped away. It started with a walk, and then it was a base knock, and then it was an RBI. Like manufacturing runs that way. That is the Will Bolt successful baseball blueprint. That's this Nebraska roster blueprint.
Okay.
That is what suits them best, in my opinion. And whether that's sacrificing with a bunt, whether that's drawing a 12-pitch walk, or maybe, if you're Josh Caron, who's going to be an MLB guy this next season, it's probably hitting a home run.
Okay.
But
is Caron MLB?
Yeah. And you also got the idea, sidebar, you also got the idea, Nebraska quietly went out and got a junior college catcher from Hutchinson Community College in early April. And that was right when Josh Caron was getting a lot of buzz. He's draft eligible for the first time since high school this year. There's kind of this idea and understanding that Josh Caron's probably going to be an MLB guy coming up this draft.
So what do we got? 2 p.m. today?
2 p.m.
Ohio
Big
State.
Ten Network. Ohio State revenge. I mean, there's also that piece. This team completely bludgeoned and embarrassed you in the first round.
What I would say to Nebraska is this: surprise us. Make a run. Surprise us.
Yeah.
Surprise us. I mean, because people aren't expecting it probably. There's a little bit of a ho-hum attitude right now toward the whole tournament, wouldn't you say, as it applies to Nebraska because of the 15-2 loss?
I suppose so.
It's a little ho-hum anyway. I
suppose.
mean, it's Nebraska because of its midweek issues. I mean, they haven't sparked our imagination too much.
No.
But they've had a good season and they've won 12 of 14 weekends.
Yes.
12 of 14 of the last 12 of the last 14 weekends they have won the series. That's good.
Which is important, obviously. I think
that's excellent. That's not good. That's excellent.
Well, and you look at like the contrast, right? There's a team out to the east in Creighton who had the best midweek record in the country. Best midweek record in the country. Struggled on the weekends.
Didn't make the Big East tournament.
Didn't make their conference tournament.
So you'd rather be in Nebraska shoes, but I still say to this, surprise us. Make a run now.
Now
let's put a jolt into your season.
We talk, and there was a lot of conversation made on Wednesday, rightfully so, about Nebraska's pitching decisions and things like that. That can't be at the front of your mind right now.
Hey, Nick, let's address that real fast. Look at what Sears said after the game. Didn't have his best stuff.
No, and that's the thing is he
would have pitched? What if he would have pitched the day before? Then he really doesn't have his best stuff.
I don't know. I think a lot of it's command and control. I think a lot of the reason with on Tuesday, and Wilbolt said it, was that it was fatigue. It was arm care. I think a lot with not having your best stuff is control and command. And Wilbolt said that is they were going to ride him on Wednesday as long as he had command and control. Then he started getting up there in pitch count in the 6th inning. I think ultimately, though, to what I was going to say is this weekend, you can't worry about bullpen guys. Like you have to empty the tank, exhaust the system, because the reason, and this goes back to Brett Sears as I'm jumping back and forth here, the schedule is set up a certain way for a reason. And that's kind of what I've told folks is like, when you looked at last week's series against Michigan State, there's a reason they play Thursday through Saturday instead of Friday through Sunday. It's to give teams an extra week or an extra day.
Yeah.
There's a reason that regionals don't start until Friday and go Friday through Monday instead of Thursday through Sunday or Wednesday through Saturday. There's a reason for that. It's so that in the conference tournaments, managers, this is where the manager title really comes into effect. You have to manage pitch counts. You have to manage guys and be strategic with your decision making. Nebraska has a chance here to where now Brett Sears won't pitch until Friday. He will have all the plenty of rest before the regional. Same with McConaughey. He won't pitch after today. Empty the tanks. Like that's what I'm telling.
Darn.
You ask like, what's your message to Nebraska? Shock the world, sir. Empty the freaking tank.
Okay,
like,
now here's the thing.
Because you have a week. You have a week off of from game activity, obviously.
Let me ask you a question.
Empty the tank. Give everything.
Wouldn't you say that Nebraska, because of its first two pitchers, Sears and McConaughey, pretty dangerous regional team?
I would say so.
Pretty dangerous.
I think certainly with Sears. You speak about regionals. There was an updated D1 baseball projection this morning. Nebraska projected to go to Norman, Oklahoma.
Norman,
the 7-seeded Sooners, who, don't forget, Nebraska should have beaten at Globe Life Field in the first series of the season.
First series of the season. Oklahoma
won the Big 12 conference. They're the number one seed in the Big 12. The Sooners are. They, I believe, beat TCU in their first game. I think they played yesterday as well. The conference tournaments in the Big 10 or Big 12 and SEC drastically different in scheduling wise than they are in the Big 10. But nonetheless, they have Nebraska as a 2 seed in the Norman Regional as of this morning, according to D1 Baseball. And that is with Oklahoma's the 1. Guess who's the 3 seed?
Who?
The Alabama Crimson Tide. Manager of the Crimson Tide, Maryland's former head coach, Rob Vaughn, who won the Big 10 title last year with the Terrapins. Left. And you remember that Alabama had that whole gambling scandal with the head coach. Rob Vaughn took that spot with the Crimson Tide.
They would be a 3 seed. Now, that would be
Alabama would be the 3 seed.
That would be a great news for Nebraska fans, I would think, because you can drive. Driving distances.
Bingo.
I mean, you just go to York, hang a left, go to Norman.
Yep.
I mean,
there you have it.
It's really simple. It's a beautiful spot to go to. God, that'd be awesome. Stillwater. I've also seen him hooked to Stillwater.
Stillwater's a little bit of a lower seed, right?
Okay.
So Nebraska would have to then win, right? Because it's a little confusing. The more Nebraska wins, the lower national seed that they'll go to.
Okay.
Right? Because there'll be a 2 seed in like the 16 seed regional.
Oh, got it.
Right. So, but nonetheless, I think also talking about SEC baseball here, been keeping tabs on like the SEC tournament.
SEC baseball, we're taking a turn here.
So
yes.
taking the turn right before the break. SEC tournament. How about this? Arkansas 0-2.
Ooh.
Dave Van Horn goes 0-2 in the SEC tournament. You know why?
Why?
Arkansas loses to South Carolina in game 1. They have to play number 3 nationally ranked Kentucky in an elimination game because LSU in game 1 beats number 3 Kentucky. So the two of the top teams, number 2 ranked and number 3 ranked Kentucky Wildcats, go down in the first game. They're playing an elimination game between each other. I talked about those free passes, by the way, with Nebraska. Perfect instances on the game yesterday between Arkansas and Kentucky. Kentucky was up by 1 run at one point. Arkansas walked 2 batters in a row. Kentucky hits a home run.
Oh.
Arkansas in the very next inning hits a 3-run home run. Guess what would have happened if you didn't allow those 2 walks?
Yeah, they win by.
They win.
Yeah.
Arkansas still playing today. Kentucky's not. You talk about those things in conference tournaments, in regional play, those kill you.
Walks.
Every single little thing is magnified to the fullest extent. And so every mistake is also magnified.
I'm going to go back to though. I'm going to tip my cap to Rob Childress.
I understand.
Hold on. Don't interrupt me.
Simple.
I
know exactly where you're going with this.
2.91 walks per 9 innings. That's what Nebraska allowed. That's second nationally.
Understand.
Yeah.
But nobody looks at that into a game and says, all right, after your second walk, okay, we can't have any more. If it's ball 17 in a row, we're going to still call you back. Still go to bat. We can't walk.
Okay.
Like, that's my point. It's just more important than ever that those bullpen guys step up.
I hear you.
I get it that the starting rotation has been great. The starting rotation isn't necessarily what's been the bugaboo of Nebraska. It's been
the bullpen's blown up a few times.
Have you been able? Are you able to hold a 2-run lead when you give it to your closer in the ninth?
The bullpen has blown up a few times.
That's the point. That's what I am talking about.
I hear you, Nick.
There you have it.
Wow, that was some baseball talk.
How about baseball? Shout out to baseball.
2 p.m.
2 p.m.
Ohio State
on the Big 10 network.
Get the win, and then you have to beat Indiana twice on Saturday.
Yeah, and looking like you might have Penn State in the Big 10 championship,
which would be,
as the 8 seed.
Yeah, interesting.
Because Illinois, by the way, same spot as Nebraska. Illinois lost their first game, won the elimination game yesterday over the Iowa Hawkeyes. Did you see how that one ended? Simple?
I did not.
Iowa, one of the worst calls in college baseball history, ended the game on runner's interference because the second base umpire claimed that the runner slid into second base. Illinois not only didn't have their foot on the base, was off to the side, didn't make any contact with the runner. They called the runner at second and first out to end the game.
Wow.
Guy for Iowa should have been safe at second, should have been safe at first.
Okay.
Instead, it was a double play, ended the ball game. Iowa loses to Illinois.
You're saying bad call.
Very bad call. There's a video out there. Not good call at all. And then they talked to the umpires. Umpires like, well, we look for 3 things. Went through that whole spiel. So there you have it. Good stuff there on baseball. When we come back, we're going to have our own segment designated to the game show when we return.
Okay. Is that what we're going to do?
Because this was technically the first segment of the 7 a.m. hour.
Okay, let's do that.
Let's do it. When we come back, game show only. Give us a call. You can go ahead and call in now, 402-464-5685. Shut up, Sipple. When we return on Early Break on the Ticket.
You're listening to Early Break with Steve Sipple, Jake Sorensen, and Bill Bush on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
NEPCO is hiring CDL drivers for ready-mixed concrete, Husker Concrete, and Beatrice Concrete. NEPCO offers great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and they pay for CDL training. Apply today and start your new career with a $2,500 hiring bonus. From NEPCO's beginning in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
Spring in Nebraska brings green grass and warmer weather. but it also brings severe storms which can cause damage to your home. Meadowlark Exterior specializes in hail, storm, and wind damage restoration, as well as roofing, siding, and gutters for commercial or residential buildings. Meadowlark Exteriors focuses on fine craftsmanship and proves that in their attention to detail. They offer free roof inspections and estimates and insurance claim assistance, serving the Lincoln and Omaha surrounding areas. Call today at 402-875-2956 or go to meadowlarkexteriors.com.
Liberty Law Group is committed to the defense of liberty for those accused and the pursuit of justice for those injured. Liberty Law Group's relentless trial attorneys specialize in criminal defense and personal injury law. Navigating the legal system can be stressful, overwhelming, and full of uncertainty. Liberty Law Group is here to do the heavy lifting for you. We believe in treating every client with respect and understanding. When you're in need of legal assistance, trust Liberty Law Group to fight for you. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. That's 877-42-LIBERTY.
At Doane University, we build leaders, and that means your success and achievements come first.
At Doane University, your future is uniquely yours, and our world-class liberal arts education is just the beginning.
We invite you to schedule your campus visit and experience why Doane University will start you on your journey to your future career.
Learn more by scheduling your personal campus visit today at doane.edu/visit. See you soon.
Ironhide Construction is a Nebraska-based general contracting and steel construction firm. Their expert team is experienced in building innovative construction solutions across several industries. While they were previously known for their extensive experience in steel erection and metal buildings, they've continued to evolve over the last several years into a full-service general contracting firm. They take pride in their commitment to quality, cutting-edge technology, and having a passion for what they do. For more information about their services or to discuss an upcoming project, visit www.ironhideconstruction.com or call 402-420-4961.
Hi, it's Sean Callahan here for Copple Chevrolet GMC, and it's Truck Month. Hi, it's Sean Callahan here for Copple Chevrolet GMC, and it's Truck Month at Copple, and we want to sell them all. Choose between 0.9% APR or as much as $8,000 off list price. Yes, you heard right. That's 0.9% APR or as much as $8,000 off list on select new GMC and Chevrolet inventory. So please make that money-saving drive to Copple in Louisville or check us out online at copplecars.com. You'll be glad you did. All deals with approved credit must trade and finance.
Sandhills Global is hiring. With their fast-paced, growing culture, they have hundreds of new openings in sales, marketing, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Full-time roles offer a 4.5-day work week, along with flexible internships in most areas. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Find your fit today at www.sandhills.jobs.
This
good morning, little brother.
is Early Break with Sip and Jake, brought to you by Gaina Trucking. Weekday mornings from 6 to 8 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
As always, want to say thank you to the guys at First Rate Ag for their support, as always, in Holdridge. First Rate Ag in Holdridge. They have everything from that you need, from lawn fertilizer and more. Call today, 308-995-8327. Once again, as the guys always say, not second rate, not third rate. It's First Rate Ag. Steve Sipple, make sure you ask for Parker or Chris. And as always, you got to mention the tickets.
Yeah.
Mention the ticket.
You handled that well.
Thank you. Thank you. Here it is. Ticket. It's 7:55 a.m. I think it's time to play the game show here in just a few minutes. I told you right before the break, or right before we came back on, that I'm not a huge movie guy. So we don't do Film Friday.
I was flabbergasted by what you were saying.
I apologize if Corey is listening, because he called in thinking, oh, it's Film Friday. I'm great at movies. That's not what we're doing today. We're actually doing...
Because you don't like movies.
I'm not a huge movie guy.
You're not into actors.
I love TV shows much more. I don't know if it's an attention span thing. Just TV shows are much more my jam.
Huh.
So today, we're doing Group of 5 college football coaches. I will tell you a little bit about them. I need you to tell me who they are. I'll tell you their current stop, maybe some previous stops, and I need you to tell me who they are.
Okay.
How do you feel?
Not great.
Okay. Well, Bill is not here either, so you're on your own. You're on an island. All right. Before we get to Corey, let's play the show music. It's time for Shut Up Sipple.
We've all been there. You're listening to the radio, and then that rage starts to grow inside of you. It starts to consume you. It gets to a point where you just want to yell, "Shut up, Sipple!" No, sorry. I'm sorry. Well, here's your chance. It's time to shut up, Sipple. Call now to play 464-5685. Shut up, Sipple. Brought to you by Bagels and Joe.
That is right. All right, we'll bring in Corey. Corey, I don't know if you heard the topic. It's not Film Friday as usual. It's Group of 5 college football coaches. How do you feel?
So, song of the day, Nick, you a big Michael Jackson fan?
Funny guy. Nope. I'm staying away from that conversation there, Corey.
You would have been a big fan.
I'm going to turn you down for a moment.
Wow.
We're gonna just move on.
You
from
muted
that
our listener.
From that conversation. We're going to move on.
We're
from that
muting
one.
listeners.
Corey, how do you feel about Group of 5 college football coaches?
Not good. Sip, you're going to be fine. When you're 4-0, Sip, or 0-4, that's like the bad signal for me. But I expect it to mop up the floor at the end movies, so I think you're going to be all right.
Uh-oh. See, so I will say I would consider all 4 of these layups.
Really?
I went with well-known Group of 5 coaches.
Okay, this is scary.
This comes from CBS Sports' top 10 article of Group of 5 coaches.
Okay.
So these are well-known guys that have maybe had Power 5 stops before.
Nick, this is all about whether the engine fires or not. That's what it is.
We'll see what happens. First question for you, Corey. This coach was drafted 6th overall in the 1994 NFL draft by the Buccaneers and currently coaches at UAB.
Trent Dilfer.
That is right.
Brilliant.
Trent Dilfer is the coach at UAB. All right, Sip. 1-0 Corey leads.
I would not have gotten that. I was looking for another name. This
former Penn State offensive coordinator previously coached at Mississippi State and currently serves as the head coach at Akron.
Oh, I know. God, he's a tall guy.
Previously at Penn State, currently at Akron.
Yeah, this is bad because I know the person and I don't know the name.
Got fired from Mississippi State.
Yeah, it's his
anything.
Yeah.
Last name.
Foster.
It is not Foster. Corey, do you have an answer?
Absolutely not.
All right. It is Joe Moorhead.
Joe Moorhead
was
once a hot coordinator.
Very much so.
A few years ago and has had a rough
Mississippi State.
I think he's had a rough ride at Akron.
He has. All right. 1-0 Corey. Next one to you, Corey. This is for the win. This coach previously coached at University of Tennessee from 2013 to 2017. Served as an analyst under Nick Saban at Alabama in 2018 and currently leads the Arkansas State Red Wolves.
Oh, God, I should know this.
Jesus, this is embarrassing. My engine's not firing either.
I know the first name, I think, but I don't want to just be thinking out loud because I'm going to maybe send Sip in the right direction.
The first name would probably give it away.
God dang it.
5 seconds. 5, 4, 3.
Williams.
No,
it is not Williams.
No, this is embarrassing for us.
So now I would recommend not stealing unless you're 100% certain because there's one more question for you.
For heaven's sake, he coached against Nebraska. He coached against Nebraska in the Music City Bowl. He was the coach.
That is correct.
He was the head coach.
For Tennessee,
Corey.
do you want to steal it?
Corey, he was the head coach.
Simple. Do you want to steal it?
This is embarrassing that I don't get. I'm flat out embarrassed in public.
I'm going to move on.
This is public. Hey, hold on. This is public humiliation.
Yes, because these are layups.
Hold on.
For especially Sip.
No, I can't get his name.
It is
Jones.
Butch Jones.
Wait a second. I just get it?
Nope. You said, I'm sorry. I'm going to make the executive decision that you did not get it.
I just said Jones.
You just said Jones. It is Butch Jones. It's 1-0.
Give that to Sip. He said Jones. Come on.
said Jones.
All right. We'll give it.
I said Jones. That was clean.
After you just said, I do not have it.
That was clean.
Okay. We'll move on.
The engine fired.
1-1.
It was a surprise.
That's fine. Simple. Okay. This is for the win.
By the way, shout out to Riker Fife for counterpunching a couple times in that game.
Yeah,
he played well.
Grand Island's finest.
Yeah.
All right, Sip, this is for the win. This coach previously been the head coach at Michigan, Arizona, and West Virginia before his current job.
Rich Rod.
There it is. Sip is a 5-0 on the week. Thanks for playing, Corey. Calling down the road. You want a bagel and coffee? All right, there it is. Rich Rod. There's the horns for you, Sip.
Give Corey his due. Does he want to say something on the way out?
Oh, we already hung up. We have hung up. Let me give you the horns one more time. 5-0 on the week. Congratulations.
That was a flurry of punches.
Dang.
It was a quick knockout.
I'm going to be honest. I after you specifically said I do not have the answer.
Then it fired.
It was controversial, but Corey gave you the okay.
Yeah,
So
Jones, Butch Jones.
Butch Jones was the head coach there. Do you want the tiebreaker?
Sure.
According to CBS Sports, Jamie Chadwell is the number 1 group of 5 head coach in the country. How many wins does Jamie Chadwell have over his 6-year career?
Okay, I can do this.
Previously at Coastal Carolina.
Right, I'm going to do this.
Currently at Liberty.
I'm sorry. Head coaching careers, how many years?
6.
6.
Over the 6-year career, how many wins does Jamie Chadwell have?
I just want to get my calculator out. Hold on.
Number 1 group of 5 head coach left, has 1 season under his belt at Liberty, has been at
Okay, I'm going to say
Carolina.
54.
Close, 52.
Okay.
He was 39-22 at Coastal. He's 13-1 at Liberty through 1 season. All right, good stuff. Appreciate Corey for calling in as well.
Yeah, I do. I really appreciate it.
That was good stuff.
It's good to hear from Corey.
Apologize that it wasn't filmed Friday, but nonetheless, I thought those were layups.
Corey is from Columbus.
Yes.
We are both from Columbus.
So there you have it. A little bit of controversy, but we all went
Not
on.
just a little.
You had 5-0 on the week.
There's a quick 3-punch.
There was
3-punch knockout there. It happened quick in a flash. I got Butch Jones. You didn't even have to finish the Rich Rod question. I got that. Boom.
Yeah.
Game over. Fight over.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. That's it. When we come back, Spillover AD joins us coming up on Early Break on the Ticket.
You're listening to Early Break with Steve Sipple, Jake Sorensen, and Bill Bush on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Sandhills Global is hiring. With their fast-paced, growing culture, they have hundreds of new openings in sales, marketing, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Full-time roles offer a 4.5-day work week, along with flexible internships in most areas. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Find your fit today at www.sandhills.jobs.
The end of the school year is drawing near, which means graduation parties are coming soon. Are you prepared for that if you're hosting? Fear's Cheese Spread is the dip that brings everyone together to celebrate graduations and to close out a great school year. And it goes well with crackers, meats, soups, and more. How could you throw a party without it? Get to your local grocery store today and load up on Fear's Cheese Spread. No graduation party is complete without it.
At Fairway Meat Market, you're family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Summertime is here. Now through May 26th, enjoy USDA Choice Whole Beef Brisket for $3.99 per pound, all-natural bone-in pork shoulder for $1.88 per pound, 8-ounce USDA Choice New York strip steaks for $6.99 each, and Frito-Lay party-sized chips for $3.88 as a congrats to all 2024 graduates. That's all at Fairway Meat Market in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Join us this Friday, May 24th for Old School, live from 4 to 6 p.m. for the brand new rooftop at Beer House at 8th and Q in the Haymarket. We're helping unveil their new 40 Torches beer in honor of the 40th year of the Cornhusker State Games. Don't miss it. Old School, this Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. at Beer House.
There are over 1,000 kids in Cedars care today. We're here to ensure that each of them receives safety and stability they deserve. But we need your help. A gift to Cedars will make an immediate impact on Lincoln's kids. And on Give to Lincoln Day, your gift goes even further with the available matching funds. I'm Jim Blue, president of the Cedars organization, and I'm asking you to go to givetolincolnday.com to make your gift to Cedars and support Lincoln kids today.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Hi, everyone. Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here. Summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations, and weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes and models from Porsches to Hondas, Toyotas, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, downtown Lincoln, always honest answers.
Bagels and Joe is the perfect place for breakfast or lunch in May. Try their brand new cake batter cream cheese on any breakfast sandwich. Also, enjoy a new energy fusion drink with a variety of flavors and carrot cake muffins with cream cheese frosting. 4 locations in Lincoln and 1 in Seward. Bagels and Joe.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old-fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with Taco Night on Mondays or Whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Hey, Husker Nation, Matt Davison here with 1890. It's an exciting time to be a Husker fan, and to keep that momentum going, we need your help. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics, and we're doing the same through name, image, and likeness. NIL is a unique opportunity for every Husker fan to have a direct impact on the success of our programs. Through 1890, 100% of your contribution goes to the student athletes. So go to 1890nebraska.com, choose your sport, become a member, and help the Huskers recruit and retain the best. Go Big Red.
Soulful Casino in Havelock is a family-owned business, providing incredible food and service that'll have you craving more with every bite. Soulful Casino offers everything from pulled pork to fried chicken, catfish, ribs, and even quesadillas. You want sides? They've got them. From fries, green beans, and baked beans to collard greens, potato salad, and sweet dill corn. Stop by for lunch as they have specials Tuesday through Friday from 11 to 2 p.m. That's Soulful Casino, located in Havelock, where every bite you take fills the soul. For over 15 years, Integrated Life Choices has empowered individuals with disabilities in Lincoln and throughout Nebraska. They provide comprehensive services from group homes and independent living services to job training, ensuring fulfilling lives for those that they serve. Now, they're inviting you to join their mission. If you're passionate about making a difference in the lives of people with developmental disabilities, explore rewarding career opportunities with them. Learn more about their services and apply today at www.ilc.net. Be a part of Integrated Life Choices, where your work truly changes lives.
We're on the air.
Back
Well, party's starting early today, isn't it?
to more of Early Break with Sip and Jay, brought to you by Gaina Trucking. On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Final segment on a Friday here on Early Break on the Ticket. Appreciate Sip hanging out with me today, and we are joined now by Aaron Davis. AD, what's up?
Nothing much, my man. Nothing much. Look like a raccoon this morning with my eyes, though, man.
Why's that?
I got big black bags underneath them.
Are you tired?
When a black man got black eyes, that brother tired.
I'm looking. It doesn't.
Oh, man.
Yeah, you do got a little bit of it.
Oh.
Have you been getting enough sleep?
Well, last night it was like literally boom, 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 boom. It was loud. And normally, normally I sleep.
You're talking
through
about
that.
thunder at this point.
Yeah, normally I sleep through it. Yeah, boom, 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 boom. Boom. What is that, AD?
Yeah, that's all right.
That's 2 out of pocket comments that you've made.
What was the other one?
One was on the phone call last night.
What?
I said you said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm hanging out with my girlfriend." And you go, "Okay, I don't need all the details."
Yeah.
It's not out of pocket.
That's all I said.
It's Sip a dirty old Sippy.
No.
It's Sippy a dirty
No.
old
Old man syndrome.
No, he keeps saying the word syndrome, which I think has negative connotations. Old man syndrome.
No, it does not.
You're not the get off my lawn type guy.
I have a little
bit.
Wow.
Not a little.
I can't see you like that though,
A
man.
little.
I can see you making a comment to a kid on your, kid.
Not on, I don't mind literally on the lawn. I don't care about that.
Yeah.
But just like college football stuff, I can be a little get off my lawn. I mean, I like 1986 a lot. Like, college football was cool when you were playing in the 90s.
It's a lot different than what it is now. I'll tell you that.
And Nick, it was cool.
It was cool.
Yeah, it was cooler. It was cool.
It was a good time.
Yeah.
It was a good time.
We went through a great period. Now it's just kind of okay.
Dude, those days are done.
Yeah.
We were complaining about the NIL or just saying we don't like the transfer portal.
Yeah.
Now they got 2.6 billion reasons why. They're like, it's not all that bad.
Yeah. They said maybe it's not so bad anymore.
Not all that bad.
Yeah. Plus, they're helping out former players.
Yep, until 2016.
For a couple players.
2016.
Yeah, so we're gonna break that down.
AD comes back and he's like, "Hey, can I get some money?"
AD wouldn't be eligible for a towel, let alone some money.
Washcloth.
Yeah.
I just want one of the Gatorade towels,
Can
man.
I get that do-rag with the N logo on it?
Yeah.
We're going to talk extensively about that at 9.
Are you?
Yeah.
Are you?
Absolutely.
The historic week that it was.
It's beyond. It's mind-blowing. Mind-blowing.
Speaking of
Do
accessories,
not yawn on the air, Nick.
Yeah.
Did I?
Yeah, you did.
Oh, my
started to
bad.
do it.
My
You're gonna
bad.
make me
I,
yawn.
I woke up all night last night.
Yeah.
Anyway, do you remember the accessories back like when Taylor Martinez was playing? They would have it where it went down to the elbow and it had the N on the bicep
sweet.
of it.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was always the accessory for players for about 2 years there, and then they got out of them.
Nick, I'm going to tell you this, and Sip will remember this. This is before your time, Nick. One of my favorite players didn't even play for Nebraska.
Okay.
Remember Hartley Dykes?
Of course, Oklahoma State.
And he had the towel, Nick. He had a towel in the back that said bye-bye.
Did it?
No
Did he really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, Hartley Dykes. He was
Yeah,
about
big receiver.
6'4".
Yeah, big,
'Cause
tall,
he was a throwback.
Yeah,
Because he was one of the first guys you've seen a receiver that big.
Think Peerless Price.
Peerless Price. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Massive
It
dude.
said bye-bye.
The towel said bye-bye.
Hartley Dykes
Hartley Dykes.
he was a bad dude.
He was a dude.
He was a bad
He was a
dude.
dude.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
That is
incredible.
So I wonder, was one of the Gundies thrown to him?
Yep, I think it was heck was it?
Was it? And I don't know that for sure.
I don't know if it would have been was it
Kale or my
was it Kale or Mike Gundy?
I don't know.
It might have been Kale. Because
Seems like it was a
Gundy.
Gundy.
It had been Kale, I think.
Yeah.
I'll have to look that up to be sure though. Because Mike would have been older because Mike was 40 like years ago.
Nick, we're talking about things before your time. That doesn't mean you can bury yourself in your phone.
I'm not. I'm reading a release from a
what is there news?
No, it's just I'm just reading a response to the decision to agree on this, because now politicians are starting to make comments about how, hey, laws are going to need to be put in place. Lawmakers,
the
let's
settlement
talk
we're
about
talking about?
legislatures, just everything with revenue sharing, everything. There's a call to action from politicians to other politicians to get control of their state. That's what they're saying.
It is going to be interesting because anytime I think you bring in, well, there's always been politics in the NCAA, but when you bring in actual politicians and DC wants to start regulating, look out.
Yeah, I wonder what involvement Congress will have. I don't know how that's all going to look. That's we're still. I mean, we have a settlement, an agreement for a settlement. The settlement's not even in place at this point, but there's an agreement that there'll be a settlement. All these conferences and the NCAA Board of Governors have agreed, but there's still a lot to be worked out. A lot to be worked out.
There's a lot of details still.
Yeah.
If you're a guy or a gal that played prior to 2016 on, don't start buying anything yet.
No.
This is a long way to go still.
Right.
But I do think this though, Sip, and let me know what your thoughts are, Nick. I think they're going to push this faster rather than slower.
Yeah, I mean, they're talking as far as revenue sharing and players getting paid and moving that in house, fall of 2025.
Yes.
fall of 20. That's here before you know.
And what's crazy is there's always been like wrong camera. There's always been rumblings of like things happening down the road, but it feels like once the conversations truly start to be had, it moves.
Can move
snap of a finger.
You're right.
And so
NIL did that.
It's like once the conversations are actually had and the guys meet or people meet, then that's when the real wheels really start to roll and you're going downhill.
That's true.
In my opinion, though, the cogs to that will be Congress.
Do you think
they don't do anything fast there?
And they have a lot going on right now.
Exactly.
There's a lot other than the college sports that they're dealing
They ought to
with.
be worried about more about international and things going on here for us as constituents and citizens more than what's going on in collegiate
College sports, right.
College sports, you need to just get on the ball, and get this thing rolled out if they're going to do it.
Yeah.
So you're going to be joined by Raph and from
no, Raph's
he's not.
out. Raph's out today. It's Raph's 50th birthday.
I assure you, Raph may have just went to bed an hour ago.
In Cabo.
Yes, in Cabo.
Can we say he's in Cabo?
Yeah, he's in Cabo.
I just said he's in Cabo.
Yeah. He's posted plenty of pictures about how he's
Everyone
in
knows
Cabo.
he's in Cabo.
Everybody knows that man's in Cabo.
50th birthday.
50.
50.
He's 50.
So
he's a good 50.
Yeah,
he's all right. So there you have it. Simple. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, that was fun. We're gonna do it again Tuesday.
Let's do it again Tuesday.
I'll reach out to you over the holiday weekend.
Yes. Any plans for the extended weekend?
I don't have a lot of major plans. No.
Memorial Day on
I have
Monday?
to work on Monday.
Okay.
And I think I have to write on Sunday too.
Wow.
Yeah. Monday's baseball announcement.
Oh, yes, with the regionals.
You looked at me like I was crazy.
Well, I was a little concerned that you knew something that nobody else did, and you were
No,
hey, there's something going to coming down the pipe on Monday.
No, it's the regional one.
Yeah, selection show is at 11 at 11 a.m. on Monday.
Yes.
So 11 a.m. Yeah. So no, it's not a nighttime show. It's a daytime show. 11 a.m. Central Time on Monday is the selection show. Nebraska baseball will find out which regional they're playing. And once again, mentioned it in our baseball segment, a pretty extensive baseball segment in the 7 o'clock hour that Nebraska projected as of this morning by D1 Baseball to fall in the Oklahoma Sooners regional. So Norman would be the landing spot if the season ended today and nobody had any other games be played. But as we know, Nebraska plays Ohio State 2 p.m. first pitch, approximately, from Charles Schwab Field in Omaha against Ohio State, a team that bludgeoned them on Tuesday. So chance for a little bit of revenge, a get-back game for Nebraska. Mason McConaughey on the mound for the Huskers. Once again, that'll do it for us here on Early Break. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Nick.
Always. By the way, Spillover was presented by Computer Hardware. Visit Trip and the team over there, 70th and O, multiple locations, Grand Island as well. So make sure you visit them if you need any help with your Apple products or technology. They're the go-to guys. Once again, Trip and the team at Computer Hardware, 70th and O in Lincoln. Once again, for Steve Sipple, Nick Sainert filling in for Jake Sorensen, The Drive with AD, Amon Green, and myself coming up next on 93.7 The Ticket.
This is Brad with Midwest Bank, proudly serving our Nebraska communities for over 70 years. We're a community bank